They're most definitely back in that finals conversation. There's snakes and ladders going along everywhere. So a Saturday night here at Giant Stadium, it's going to be massive.
Another beautiful Saturday night in Sydney. There was some drizzle around earlier, but it's cleared now. It will be the biggest crowd of the season here at Giant Stadium for obvious reasons with the Swans in town. Both teams out on the ground warming up. The famous Giants song playing and the banners being wrapped up now as we get close to bounce down. And in special comments with us this evening is Mark McVeigh, a 232-game champion of the Essendon Football Club, former Giants coach, of course, and part of the coaching setup now at the Sydney Swans. Good evening, Spike.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Going well. Looking forward to this one. And with you in co-commentary is Joel Patfull. 220 games with Port, Brisbane and the Giants. Good evening, Joel.
Hey, guys. Good to be here.
So a big week. It started with Buddy Franklin's retirement on Monday. Joel, you would have played on Buddy on numerous occasions. Spike, you would have been around Buddy as he roamed, attacking 50, torturing the Bombers on numerous occasions. Can we start with a story from you both as we pay tribute to the great man?
Well, I never got to play on him. Obviously, I chased him a fair bit. And it's a funny thing, Joel. They show the highlights of Cale Hooker chasing Buddy Franklin down, but there's one just before it where I'm actually doing the same, and I escaped all those highlights because I think Hooker's face and his expressions on the chase down weren't as bad as mine. But he did the same thing to me about 8 minutes prior, and I couldn't get it. I reckon I need another 20 metres, and I might have got a finger on him. But look, I just think every time we played Buddy, whether he's at Hawthorn or the Swans, he knew he had the ability to kick goals on us. He always had Dustin Fletcher, and Fletch found him really hard to match up on, obviously later in his career. But he had Nora. I think he lifted for that game. Hawthorn Essendon rivalry was pretty big crowds at the MCG. You'd always get 85,000 there, and he loved it. And you could tell he loved it, and he came out with a swagger, and he usually played pretty well.
I was hoping you were going to mention that one. It's one of the iconic bits of footage, isn't it, the Essendon goal? But mine was probably very early in my career. We're playing Hawthorn at the Gabba, and I hadn't played on Buddy yet, but I got the message that if he goes okay, you might be going to him. 10 minutes into the game, he'd kicked 3. I've played 15 games, and they're going, you got to go to Buddy. He's ended with 7. They've beaten us by 10 goals, and the rest is history. But it was too hard to play on. He could get you on a lead. He'd get you at ground level. And for someone who, for most of his career, wasn't amazing overhead, he was more dangerous when the ball hit the ground, and he was just so dynamic and so hard to play on.
It's been coming, but footy in Sydney and around Australia will undoubtedly miss an irreplaceable player in the legend that is Lance Franklin. But as we said before, it doesn't take away from everything surrounding this game. And if there is someone ready to assume the mantle of the poster boy of New South Wales football, it's probably the number 4 in the GWS Giants jumper, their captain in Toby Green, who is right up there now with the best players in the competition, if he's not already. The reigning Brett Kirk medalist. He won the Giants the game the last time these two sides met. The matchup for him tonight is going to be fascinating, Mark McVeigh. How do the Swans approach it?
Well, I think they would have had Dane Rampy earmarked to play on him because, Ramps is a really good defender. Jolie, you know that well. He's good on the ground. He's good in the air. His body work's as good as anyone you see, and you need to have great body work on Toby Green. I think Fox gets the role tonight. I think he goes to him just because he's probably the most likely out of all the Swans backline players to assume that. He has a big engine. He can stay in the game. He can play big minutes. The thing you got to do with Toby Green is you can't switch off. He's always in the game. If he doesn't get hit up on the lead, he's going to get you out the back because he's got a big work rate, power running, and we know he can kick goals from anywhere. So it's going to be a fascinating watch. The thing for me is, where do they go if it's not working? And that's the hard part of the game. They'll be sitting there thinking in the first 15, 20 minutes of the game, if he's kicked 2 or 3, where are we going from here? And it's a real watch for me.
Yeah, I agree. It has to be someone like Fox. But I think where Toby's so good at losing his opponent is in that zone setup. So I think it's almost got to be a one-on-one matchup, and it's a real close. It's a close competition for the whole game. So you can't get lost because Toby's too smart. If you switch off and you zone and you press forward, he'll get you out the back. So you need to know where he is at all times, and that's what he did last week in that third quarter. He ended up playing on a first gamer for 5 minutes, and he kicks 2 goals and gets back in the game. So you can't give him that space. You've got to lock down, and you've got to really just make it a one-on-one contest for the whole game.
There is a late change. Finn Callaghan, a very late scratching from this one. I was at training on Thursday I must admit, I didn't think he'd be playing. Watching him at training on Thursday, he was limping around, but the Giants said, no, he's fine. Obviously tried to get through the warm-up and couldn't. So Finn Callaghan out. That is a blow to the Giants. We know how talented he is. Ryan Angwin comes in as the sub, and Isaac Cumming, who was earmarked to be the sub, now comes into the 22. The Swans have made a big change as well, of course, with Tom Hickey coming in for Buddy Franklin, which means Hayden McLean moves to second ruck and will join the forward line group as well to try and pinch it down there. But it's Nick Haynes' 200th game. He has been sub in 2 of the last 3 Giants encounters, but Adam Kingsley said, no, if it's a milestone game, you play. You've both had a fair bit to do with Nick Haynes.
Yeah.
How would you sum up what he's achieved at this football club, Mark?
I like that from Adam Kingsley, and I think it should be the same for our first gamers. I never like first gamers playing the sub either, so I think that's a well done to him identifying that. Look, Nick Haynes has been a wonderful player for a long period of time. Sometimes when these players get to the later stage of their career, you forget actually how good they were in their prime. And Nick Haynes and Jolie, he's as good a reader of players you'll find, as brave as anyone. He played some massive games throughout that time where the Giants were certainly playing finals every year. He was one of the main contributors in being able to repel anything that came down back. Early doors with the Giants, they used to have to absorb a lot of inside 50s. And Nick Haynes would stand up majority of the time and had done it for a long period of time. Unheralded, very quiet, very unassuming, but he's been a wonderful player for the club.
Well, he learned the hard way how to defend early, didn't he? He had multiple inside 50s and would have been playing on the better forwards most weeks. So one of my memories of Nick Haynes is I came from Brisbane to Greater Western Sydney as an intercept defender, and the first few games I had this bloke with long hair just taking hangers on me in the back line, and I was kind of used to being the one intercept marking, but then he was just taking everything. So I think from there he kind of took that role, and he's done it for years now. And like Spike said, he's All-Australian and a very good player for 200 games.
Spoke to him during the week. He told a good story. He said he just wasn't interested in being an AFL player when he was 18, 19. He got drunk after a best and fairest for his local club. He had Dandenong Stingrays training the next day, and he said his dad literally kicked him out of bed to get the training. He said if it wasn't for that, he wouldn't have made it. And then a couple of months later, the penny dropped and he realised, no, I have to apply myself. And he was taking a pick 7 in the draft in 2011, and now he will play tonight, 200 games for the GWS Giants, All-Australian, best and fairest winner at the club as well. Massive game, we know, with finals ramifications at play. It feels like the Giants can definitely afford to lose one and still make it, but win tonight, home final in their sights. Swans would probably need to get lucky if they lost one in the run-in, but it all adds up to a fascinating encounter. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I was thinking about this during yesterday and driving into the game. I reckon there was 2 conversations going this week in the 2 camps. Swans would be thinking, how do we stop them from repelling so quickly from the half-back line? They'd be talking about defence all week. What do we need to do to stop their run-off halfback? They are number 1 in the comp from scoring from the defensive mid-zone. They're the fastest in transition, so between the arcs. They're number 1 in a lot of areas for repelling from the half-back line. I reckon the Giants would have been saying, we've got to play our game. We've got to keep going the way we've been training all pre-season. We've sped up. We're moving the ball quickly. You just see when Sam Taylor intercept mark or Nick Haynes intercept mark, they handball straight away. And Lockie Ash turns up, Lockie Whitfield turns up, and they're off the hip and they're away they go. So for me, it's 2 different styles tonight. It's about the Swans forward line. How defensively sound can they be to stop that run? And the Giants, can we keep playing the way we've been playing, really quick, really fast, and get it inside 50 as quick as we can?
Yeah, I agree. And you noticed that last week, that first half, they couldn't get their game going. The Bulldogs slowed them down and they really struggled to score. So that's going to be a big contest. In the midfield as well, Cal Ward went into the midfield in the second half and really got the Giants going forward last week. Did that role on Bontempelli, which I thought was really important. So massive game. Like you said, both teams, a win tonight really changes the way their run home looks. So both teams will be keen for a good result.
5-time Brett Kirk medalist Luke Parker has won the toss. The Swans will kick to the left of your radio dial. Let's get down to the boundary and check in with Poppy Penny.
Yeah, I am hoping the rain stays away. I had a little look at the radar, and I do not think I'm going to be quite so lucky. Starting on the bench for the GWS Giants, we have Callan Ward, Lockie Keith, Connor Iden and Callum Brown. And you mentioned Ryan Angwin, the late in as the sub for the Giants. As you can hear the tsunami warning going off in the background. Logan McDonald, James Rowbottom, Will Hayward and Nick Blakey on the bench for Sydney, and their sub Dylan Stevens tonight. We're hoping for dry weather down here, guys.
It's looking good at the moment. The Giants are on a club record 7 wins streak. The Swans have won 3 in a row themselves. It's all set up for a fantastic Battle of the Bridge as the crowd starts to build here at Giant Stadium. To kick things off on AFL Grandstand, it's Declan Byrne.
A game that could definitely shape the finals as the umpire readies himself. Briggs and Hickey to do battle in the middle. It is slammed into the turf. Briggs with the early tap. Haynes, the 200 gamer. Handball's off to Cornelio, who goes long. The clearance inside 50 for the Giants, but a good mark from Aaron Francis. And he plays on quickly. The former Essendon pick 5. Handballs to Lloyd and goes wide. Wicks drops the mark at half back. Handballs though to Mills. Quick tap over from Braden Campbell, but chopping it off. The Giants, and a shot on goal. Has it gone through? Daniel Lloyd from 50 metres on basically the boundary line has got the Giants off to a hot start. 30 seconds gone, and the Giants have a goal.
Nick Haynes off the wing there, which is interesting. Will he play that wing sweep role to help get back and defend? Riccardi's the one for me. I mean, there's that first one-on-one. You know, if he wants to make a name for himself in the AFL, he needs to bring that ball to ground. Francis obviously turned that ball. He didn't turn the ball was dropped, but Lloydie's done that for a long period of time now, hasn't he? Kicks goals from that junction all the time.
Well, he's probably been one of those players that's been really consistent over the last few weeks at least, hasn't he? He pops up, kicks 1 or 2 goals. He's one of your boys, one of your discoveries from back in the day, Spike, so good to see him get the first goal tonight.
Yep.
Played every game this season, Daniel Lloyd. Been very consistent. He's got the first on the board in the Battle of the Bridge. The Giants 1 straight 6. The Swans yet to score. Early stages first quarter. Luke Parker knocks it back to Errol Goulden. Picks it up, back of the square. Handball to Cunningham, put him under pressure. He was well tackled by Brent Daniels. Socket off the ground by Papley, but only as far as Isaac Cumming. Marks it on the logo, spots up Riccardi at half forward. The Giants, with all the momentum, early stages of the first term. Riccardi will just spot it up for the lead of Toby Green. Fox has the job on him. Does well, Fox, to punch it away from Toby. High ball to right half forward. Lockie Ash is marked.
Ash with possession about 80 metres out from goal. So they've set up the wall and the Swans haven't got it past halfway yet. Lockie Ash delivers the footy to a big pack of players. Hickey's got a bit of space, but cruising across the front of the contest. Back in after some quad troubles. Jesse Hogan takes the mark and will kick for goal on a slight angle about 35 metres out.
Been a real thorn in the side of the Swans with his contested marking the last few years. It's they've really struggled with him. I think it goes back to the final in Tasmania through the COVID period where he was outstanding, where they won by 1 point.
Jesse Hogan approaches the goal. Slight angle, 40 metres. His little stutter step on the right foot. Starts it out to the right and it doesn't come back. So a minor score for the Giants, 1-1-7. Swans yet to score.
Excellent start, GWS. Swans just need to get their hands on the footy and stabilise. Jake Lloyd brings it back into play. Long ball to the outer side. 1-on-1 between Himmelberg, who's just signed that new 6-year deal. Then Isaac Heaney. Strong tackle by Nick Haynes, the 200 gamer. Wins it back for the Giants. Tom Green back in the side. Pumps it long inside, attacking 50. Getting back and marking is Aaron Francis, but the Swans are under the pump.
Jolie, I just want you to get your thoughts as the play goes on Himmelberg Heaney. Really good matchup, I reckon.
Francis up the wing, but Briggs cruised across the contest, took a mark. Again, the ball is stuck in the defensive 50 for the Swans. Giants peppering them. Briggs goes short to Cumming, who came in at the last minute. As you heard them say, Finn Callahan out. Cumming was the sub, but he's in for tonight. And he'll go inside 50. Beautiful kick. Toby Green just overruns it. Warner cleans up for the Swans, but it's a rushed kick outside 50. And Sam Taylor drops the mark. Green there to help out for the Giants. Taps it to Ash. Short kick works to Green. His handball to a running Whitfield. He dabs it in front of him. No clean contest, and Parker will clean up for the Swans.
Swans can try and rebound off half-back. The 1-2 between Clark and Parker. They find McLean. Good kick to centre half-forward. Spots up Papley. Papley will play on. He has a man free inside 50. It is Joel Amati. And he will mark and have a shot from 25 out directly in front.
Great bit of play. They broke down the zone. They were struggling to get over halfway. The Giants had set up their defence very well and were super aggressive in the way they were moving forward. But once they got through that first line, they opened up, and Amadi over the back almost had the handball over the top, you reckon, Spike, in the goal square?
Maybe, but this is a direct result of Sam Taylor dropping the mark. This is his direct opponent, got out the back, so he's going to expose as much as he possibly can.
One of the heirs apparent to Lance Franklin. 4 goals last week, Joel Amadi. First on the board tonight for the Swans. GWS 117, Sydney 1 straight 6. Amati with Sydney's first major.
So Jolie, the job that Amati's got on Taylor is he has to keep him away from a pack situation as much as he possibly can. He's got to be smart with his leads. He can't just wander off and allow Sam to let him go into non-dangerous positions. I love seeing there, though, Sam Taylor will go and chase the footy if the ball hits the ground, won't he? He'll go and try and he's just hunts after the footy. He's a competitor. Amati just went forward really quickly and got him out the back. Yeah,
he backs himself in to read the play and to read the contest. You see after that goal as well, a few of the Swans players actually getting into Sam Taylor, so it could be a bit of a focus for the game because he has been so important for the Giants. So one to watch for the game.
Amati with a couple of bags of 4 in his last 5 games. He's only played the Giants once so far in his career and has started hot tonight with the first goal for the Swans. So Briggs taps it down and gets the clearance. Callum Brown is there. Handball's back to Hayne, who kicks over his body. It's a rush kick. Fox right on Toby Green. He doesn't get a clean possession, but Tom Green does. And the Giants move it out to the wing. Entering 50 now. It's a poor kick over the top of Toby Green. So the Swans will get the free kick for the out of bounds on the full.
Started well, Fox. Really well.
They go short to Blakey. The kick came in from Francis. Blakey will chip it in his own defensive 50 to Cunningham and then gets it back as he loves to do. And they run off half-back through the corridor. Blakey to Lloyd. Heaney on the lead. Gives it back to Jake Lloyd. Through the middle of Giants Stadium. Pumps along to Amati with the leap. Who marks. He lost control as it hit the turf, but the umpire said he held it for long enough. That was direct football from Sydney. And Amati will have a shot from almost the exact same spot that he kicked a goal from a moment ago.
So Garb, I reckon you hit the nail on the head there. You can see the game plan. It's run and carry. It's lower your eyes. Sam Taylor's going back to goal there. Lower your eyes, onto the leads. Onto the leads. Don't just bomb away and allow them to get their numbers back to start their running game.
What an impressive young footballer Joel Amati is. What a wonderful leap. And as he proved a moment ago, a pretty good kick on him, and he has backed that up. He's kicked 2 straight. The Swans have 2 straight. GWS 117. 7 and a bit gone in the first term here at Giants Stadium.
Well, what a start. And you talked about Heaney and Himmelberg, the match up there, and Heaney was the one that they used through the middle, and Harry he'd let him go for a couple of metres. So that's a play as well, because they do like to zone off and read the play. So lower their eyes, hit Heaney through the middle, and then lower their eyes again and hit Amati inside 50. So great bit of play.
So 2 goals, early doors on Sam Taylor. It's exactly the start they would have wanted.
And it'll be interesting to see how he reacts, because this wouldn't happen to him for a while. So he's under the pump, he's inside 50 in a one-on-one. They're taking him to the goal square, so let's see how he goes.
He's number 1 in the comp, Sam Taylor, for intercept possessions. So I guess they want to get him away from those situations.
Exactly.
Back in the middle of Giants Stadium, the first lead change of the night. The Swans have kicked 2 straight. Amati has both of them. And the clearance again goes to Kieran Briggs. Inside 50 for the Giants. Green again, spoiled McCartan this time. Ball comes to the front. Ward's there, 52 metres out. Lowers his eyes, but chopping across. Aaron Francis, his 3rd intercept mark already. He's their go-to guy tonight, but he's turned it over. Giants have it inside 50. Hogan from point-blank range. And his snap didn't get a good purchase on it. Lloyd was in the goal square taking the relieving mark.
Risky football from the Swans, but they want to play on quickly from defensive 50. Almost hurt them on that occasion. Lloyd goes long to the outer wing. Over the pack it goes. Heaney leads the race to it. Iden's there with him. He affects the kick of Heaney. He's picked up on the wing by Lockie Ash. He spots something he likes at centre half forward, but he overcooked it to Tom Green in the middle of the ground, and Rowbottom was able to intervene again. The Swans go long into attacking 50. Over the back of the pack is picked up by Wicks, but there's a free kick to Sam Taylor. So a bit of respite for the Giants star defender, who's had a tough opening to this game. Free kick, plays on quickly to Perryman, and he spots up a long lead of Callum Brown.
Callum Brown on the wing for the Giants, defensive side for them. Spears a kick up the line, but McCartan read it beautifully for the Swans and intercepts on centre wing in front of Keith. He handballs to Goulden, fresh off 37 touches. Kicks it inboard to Mills, who marks on the edge of the centre square. He's 65 metres out, Mills. He waits, looks forward, waits for a lead that he likes. It's open side, Hickey, bit of space, but there we go. An intercept mark, this time it's Buckley. They work as a team, this Giants defence. No egos there, and whoever marks it, they're happy to do it. It wasn't Taylor this time, it was Buckley, who goes quickly to Ash and to Kelly by hand and then to Lloyd by hand. They're up the wing here and they've got space. Toby Green's out the back if he wants him, but short to Hogan is the option. Hands off to Cornelio, 55 metres out. Green was free again. Centres it up to the hot spot, but Lloyd chops it off for the Swans. They had 3 options there and they missed them all.
Started well, Jake Lloyd. He's out wide and finds Hickey back into the side. And the lead, marks at half-back. And then spots up Heaney on the wing. McDonald's broken free now. And he's marked, wants to play on, and hits up Papley just inside 50, 45 out.
Really like what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make the ground as big as they possibly can. They're making the Giants defenders defend, and then they've just got to be really smart on their entries, Joel. I reckon if you can get it as close to 50 as you can and then release if you get held up and get it in deep, you don't want any shallow entries, which Buckley was able to mark, because that's when they'll start their running game. You've got to get it close to 50. If you get held up, at least kick the ball long and deep so you can defend it.
Yeah, spot on.
Tom Papley set up Joel Amarty for the Swans' first of the night. Got good purchase on that one. Excellent accuracy as well. He's wheeling around attacking 50 as he loves to do. The high fives everywhere. The Energizer Bunny of the Sydney Swans is on the board. And after GWS kicked the first of the game, the Swans have the last 3 straight. 3 straight 18, GWS 117.
Yeah, you're right, Spike. It's off good. So it's off good ball movement out of the back 50. They're really spreading, getting outside that Giant zone, using the obvious player, and then lowering their eyes inside 50. Good ball movement, good kicking efficiency, and a great result.
I think their matchups is the one that's really intriguing me. I really like what the Swans have done. They've worked really hard at making sure that Buckley is taken care of by Logan. Amarty's got Sam Taylor deep. Heaney has been covered off of Himmelberg. He's come off the ground now, so he picks up Weeks. And Perryman's got his hands full with Papley.
Fox yet to touch the ball, but neither is Toby Green, so they take that as a win for sure as well. Hickey in the ruck, gets it down to Warner. He's pressured, finds Goulden, little 1-2 back to Warner, but his kick only goes a few metres. Tom Green is there, back in after a few weeks off. Hands come to Keith, then Cornelio, then back to Tom Green. And he goes wide. Waiting there is Callum Brown. 55 metres out, the Giants. Would love to get one back after 3 in a row for the Swans. Brown to the hot spot. Hogan has a ride. Ball spoiled to the front. Well, went early, didn't get enough of it. So a free kick to the Swans, to Aaron Francis.
Sydney 3 straight 18, GWS 117. 13 minutes gone in the first quarter. Francis plays on. Hayward lost his feet. On a right and kept his and won the football back. Looks for Brent Daniels, finds him. Just outside attacking 50. Hemmed up against the boundary line is Ward. Had Callum Brown in the lead. Brown dropped one he should have taken. And in the end it's kept in. Toby Bedford picks it up when the Swans had the chance to rush it through for a behind. The snap comes in from Hogan and he's kicked it. Well, that is a blunder from Sydney, who couldn't quite rush the ball over. Toby Bedford kept it in. Jesse Hogan snapped, and the Giants have their second, margin back to 5 points. They had 2-1-13. The Swans 3 straight 18.
Yeah, one of those ones where you just got to get it through there. They should have rushed it through, but couldn't make it happen. 14 inside 50s now for the Giants for their, 3 shots at goal they've had. So they have been getting inside 50, but haven't been able to get the efficiency. So, and quite lucky to get that one really at the end of the day.
I reckon there's a watch on Blakey. He's been covering off young Brown. He looks dangerous. He's been free a couple of times. He dropped that mark inside 50, which he should have taken. He's probably had 2 or 3 marks around the ground. One thing about the young Irishman is he's got great speed, he's got great power, and if he gets out in the open, not many people in the competition can catch him. So Blakey's got to be really smart and make sure offensively he's sound, but defensively he's on.
Keith and McLean, lock horns in the middle. Papley, great clearance to Warner. They go wide to Goulden, still inside the centre square, but Goulden's going to go long. Logan McDonald spills the mark, had good purchase on it. Ball comes out the front of the contest. Clark is there for the Swans, and ushering Taylor over the boundary line was Hayward. We'll have a ball in the forward pocket for the Swans.
This is where it needs to live. The Swans can't let them get their chain game going, and getting them through their arcs here. They need to hold it in, repeat stoppage, shots on goal, don't allow them to get their game going.
Sydney 3 straight 18, the Giants 2-1-13, boundary throw and in attacking 50 for Sydney. Taylor's there, Wicks fell in the back of him. Play on, Himmelberg with a quick handball to Cornelio. He was under pressure, quick kick away from defensive 50. Blakey and Brown see it over the boundary line. A nice crowd here at Giant Stadium. They're still filing in. Bit of disruption on the train service here in Sydney, so perhaps it wasn't easy to get to for all the Swans fans who maybe don't live around Western Sydney. So, nice atmosphere building. An excellent first quarter so far as Callan Ward burrows through the pack at halfback for the Giants. Parker picks it up, quick handball to Goulden, and now back to Lloyd. He's been busy. A snap to half forward off the hands of the pack. Himmelberg pumps it over the boundary line. We'll have another boundary throw in. Inside attacking 50 for the Swans.
Down to Poppy on the boundary line.
Yeah, we were hoping for dry weather and we have not got that. The rain has started. It's fairly light for the moment, but having a look at the radar, it looks like it's going to be pretty consistent. So having a lovely wet time down here.
See how that affects the skills. Marty in the ruck, taps it down to Rowbottom. He's tackled immediately. Ball spills free. A few players fight. It's getting messy already. Tom Green there. He's kicked a big up and under. It's gone 0 metres, but 20 metres up. Rowbottom picks it out of the contest. At the front was Buckley, who got in front of McDonald and spoiled it over the boundary line in the forward pocket for the Swans.
Just noticing the interchange. Fox will come off with Toby Green anytime he leaves the ground. And anytime he's about to come back on, Harry Cunningham was sprinting off to allow Fox to get back on. Really good. Like it, keep the pressure on.
Ball spun back into play. Keefe taps it to the front, but waiting was Warner. He's being held a little bit by Ward. He throws his arms out, asking for the free kick. The umpire says play on, and the ball goes over the boundary line for another boundary thrown in that forward pocket.
Joel, you just have a look at the Swans setup. They know they want to chain out of stoppage. They've got a couple of players behind the ball. Harry Cunningham holds the anchor through the middle of the ground, and McLean sits out as a forward.
Lockie Keefe palms it down in defensive 50 for the Giants. As that coming is wrapped up by Luke Parker. It's a strong wrestle for the football.
Yeah, this is exactly what they want. Inside 50, slow ball movement, and like you said, they've actually got two spares behind the footy there. So if they come out the front of the stoppage, they've got it covered.
Rowbottom and Tom Green scrap away for the football. Another boundary throw in attacking 50 for the Swans. Interesting to see Callan Ward running with Chad Warner. Did a great job on Marcus Bontempelli last week after quarter time, which had a huge impact on the Giants winning that game. So he's been given a run with roll again by Adam Kingsley, trying to stop Chad Warner. Rowbottom sharks out the handball to Papley. He's found some space inside 50. The kick on the angle, though, is marked by the intercept king for the Giants in his 200th game in Nick Haynes, and he plays on quickly to Connor Iden.
Up the line to Whitfield. Handball's inboard to the voice. It was clever to Buckley. The whistle has been blown. I think potentially Whitfield was taken out after he handballed it. And they're going to pay the downfield, but only 5 or 10 metres where that handball landed. So the ball will come back to Buckley for the Giants, still in his defensive half. What's Ryan Clark doing as well? He went to Whitfield in the first derby. Looks like he's going there as well to do a shutdown role.
No doubt.
Buckley, who I reckon might be happy, but he's not here. Had him in his 7th ever game of footy. And he goes up the line here to a pack of players. Hogan at the front, flying is McLean. Ball comes down to Kelly. Cleverly read by Warner, who pinched his handball, gave it to Wicks. Up the line to Amati. Late spoil from Sam Taylor is good. He goes up the wing by hand. Kelly's waiting there. Everyone spread from the contest, and Kelly was loose. He goes long inside 50. Aaron Francis again with the spoil. Lloyd was at the front of the contest. Crumbs kicks inside to the hot spot, but Goulden was waiting there for the Swans.
Excellent mark by Goulden. Fantastic play by Sam Taylor at halfback a moment ago. That was Taylor at his absolute best after a slow start to this game. Amati kicking a couple on him. He's responded well. Callum Mills sends it up the wing for the Swans. Buckley's underneath it. Get the size advantage on Sam Wicks. Marks and plays on. It's a dangerous ball, though, looking for Toby Bedford in the middle of the ground. Bedford was able to recover after a spoiled away from him. Handball to Cornelio on his left. Goes inside 50. Keefe with the leap. Couldn't take the mark. McCartan on his back got the handball away. Swans under pressure, though. Ollie Florent with a don't argue to Bedford. Got him high. Free kick to Bedford. Inside attacking 50. The tackle was coming. Florent rose the arm and caught Bedford high. And as a result, Bedford will have a shot from 40 out, 45-degree angle.
Well, I think they got lucky there, the Giants. They went real aggressive through the midfield. Just the bounce of the ball. Goulden, who I think started really well defensively, got a hand on it. But, yeah, the high fend, unfortunately, got him high. It was the right free kick to be paid.
Toby Bedford is third in the comp for average tackles per game inside attacking 50. Perhaps Ollie Florent saw him and knew the danger was coming and reacted poorly. A chance to put the Giants back in front late in the first quarter here at Giants Stadium. Bedford strikes it cleanly and accurately. What a recruit he's proven to be. GWS 3-1-19. The Swans 3 straight 18. 20 and a half gone in the first term on AFL Grandstand.
Well, that's what they do. Sometimes players like Toby Bedford, whether they might not make the initial tackle, but they make the defender feel under pressure, and then sometimes they make a silly mistake, whether they get rid of the footy too quickly, take a few too many steps, or take the tackle on and get done holding the ball. So that's what you want to see from your small forwards, creating pressure and finishing well.
What about the put to sleep celebration? I haven't seen that one before. I don't know what that's about. Anyone know?
I think his nickname's Snooze. Snooze Bedford.
Okay, there you go, Garb. You can use that.
Interesting.
Good. Well, it's been nothing but anything but a sleepy start here. 6 goals in the first quarter. A couple of lead changes already, and we're back in the middle of Giants Stadium. Briggs and Hickey at it. Briggs with the tap. Looks like Tom Green at the bottom of a pack of 3 or 4 players there. Goulden and Parker on top of him.
One thing I do know, if you snooze in defence of 50, Toby Bedford will catch you.
There you go.
So I'd be wary on that front. It's the best I can do with the information I was given.
Toby Green, who's pushed up to the contest, might have been driven into the turf. He gets the free kick. Goulden, the offender. So Toby Green has the footy on the edge of the centre square next to the logo. Have they paid 50? No, they haven't. So Toby waits. Basically everyone on the field ahead of him. So it's a packed forward 50. Can they find a big mark? A few leap high, but no one pulls it down. Rowbottom's at the bottom of the pack. He misses his hands. Brent Daniel cuts it off, but his intercept as well. Cunningham on the ground might have been taken high. Umpires put the whistle away. We're inside Giants attacking 50. Kelly runs straight into Clark. Whitfield at the back of the contest. Bends it round on his left. Keefe, another big leap. Brown at the fall of the footy. On his left. Callum Brown. A spectacular goal. He played 10 games in 2 years. He's played 13 this year. And he's got goals in 7 of his 8 last games. And he's got another one tonight. 4-1-25. Plays 3 straight 18. The Giants lead by 7. 22 minutes gone here on AFL Grandstand.
He's giving Nick Blakey a tough night so far. I mean, he's had a few shots on goal. He's been able to get up the ground and mark the footy. I mean, that's where he's just so unassuming. I mean, it's a really good move to put him forward. And he started as a half-back flanker, did all his craft in the VFL as a half-back flanker, but they quickly realised that his speed that supports probably the Giants' game plan when they break into open space and territory would help them.
A seesawing first quarter. It's a mammoth battle of the bridge. It is living up to expectations. The Giants lead by 7 points. Hickey wins it clean out of the middle and kicks long into attacking 50. McDonald brought it down to ground. Buckley's under pressure. Heaney's looking for a top of the square. Sam Taylor does well. And then Himmelberg, after the handball from Taylor, palms it down to Whitfield. Himmelberg gets it back and drives it up the wing. Blakey does well to get a hand in, as Toby Green was ready to mark, but they've turned it over the Swans. Picked up by Keefe. Looks for his skipper in Green, who loses his footing, and on his backside just handballs it up the boundary line. Sits up for Cunningham. Support comes in the form of Braden Campbell. He has Goulden in board. He's racking up plenty of possessions as per usual. His kick is controlled by Parker at half forward. Excellent kick with the outside of his rocking for Wicks. Wicks dropped the mark. Goulden couldn't rove it. Ryan Clark with the second effort. Eventually gets it to Braden Campbell. Long ball inside 50. The big grab from Hayden McLean is taken. Well, they did well under pressure there, the Swans, to eventually get it into attack. And the big man has delivered in Hayden McLean with a clean grab. He'll kick from 20 out directly in front.
Yeah, they're giving him some issues down there, the two Swans forwards, aren't they? And I think McLean started on Taylor at that centre bounce as well. So Taylor followed the footy out, had a contest at ground level, and then they weren't able to cover him on the way back in.
And playing in the ruck, Hayden McLean. So he's gone 5 games without a goal. Second ruck forward responsibilities tonight. Kicking is an issue for him, but not on this occasion. He gets the 4th on the board for the Swans. And they are trailing by just a solitary point late in the first quarter. Sydney 4 straight, 24. The Giants 4-1-25.
It's clear down there too. It's very dewy, as we alluded to earlier, that if one little slip of the hands or a ground ball is really hard to pick up. So where you can be clean in these conditions is really important. The other thing is the Swans smalls chasing out the defenders of the Giants, whether it's Perryman, Whitfield or Ash. You've got to stay in the chase because they're going to give you an opportunity because they don't want to make the perfect kick. As soon as they lower their eyes to make the perfect kick, you're a chance to tackle them from behind.
Good out to Poppy Penny on the boundary.
You mentioned Nick Blakey's having a difficult night. I think it might be getting a little bit tougher. He's in discussions with the doctor and the physio and having his left glute worked on at the moment.
Ball's bounced. Tap down to Rowbottom. Riding him into the ground was Canelio. So we'll have a ball up in the bullseye again.
Giving him an out, Poppy.
Briggs with the tap. Down to Parker, though, the king of the derby. Hands it to Cunningham. His short kick might work out for the Swans. It comes to Mills, but they've turned it over. Briggs, his kick is half smothered. Canelio off the deck was clever to Brent Daniels from 55 metres. No one at home. Pushes it way across the face. In fact, it's one bounce out of bounds in the forward pocket for the Giants.
GWS 4-1-25. The Swans 4 straight, 24. Adam Kingsley, Giants coach, so impressive in his first season in charge, down on the boundary line. Coaching from there. Late stage of the first quarter. Briggs gets Hickey out of the contest with ease. His kick was smothered though. Ball picked up by Hickey. Sends it out to left half back for the Swans. Ryan Clark's then does well to handball it inboard to Hayden McLean. He kicked the last for Sydney. Didn't look up though. Turned it over straight away. Lockie Ash gathers. The kick to centre half forward isn't marked by Daniels. Now the Swans can try and rebound off half back like they love to do. Quick handball from Parker found Blakey. Now Cunningham to Goulden, and he spots up Braden Campbell at left half back as the Swans just try and settle things down.
Braden Campbell, 70 out from his own goal, waits for a lead. McLean led, then doubled back. Might go up the line in that direction. So it's a 3-on-3. Where are the Giants defenders? Iden at the back gets the spoil. Waiting at the front is Kelly. Quick kick out of the contest. Cunningham there. And he picks up cleanly in the wet. Handballs to Mills. They get the chain going to Rowbottom, to McDonald, to Florent. But waiting there was Toby Bedford.
Got him again, Bedford.
Bedford wraps him up and the Giants play on. Advantage given to them. They're on the edge of the centre square. Ball with Whitfield. Little chip kick out wide inside 50 to Riccardi, who's had a quiet start. His kick inboard to Kelly is good though. Kelly dances around one, doesn't like what he sees ahead, so goes back to Whitfield. They're outside the 50. Handballs to Perryman, who unloads from 52 metres. A few at the goal line, including, I think it was Rowbottom, who'd gone all the way back from midfield to help spoil that one through for a rush behind. The Giants 4-1-25. The Swans 4-2-26. They lead by 2, 28 gone.
Jake Lloyd will bring the ball back into play for the Swans. The 9th disposal for him in this first quarter. Finds Logan McDonald at right half back. A long way from home. Chips it inboard to Callum Mills. Wanted to play on quickly. Giants up by 2 points. 4-2-26. Plays 4 straight, 24. Dying moments of the first quarter here at Giant Stadium. Mills goes back to Logan McDonald. He had the height advantage on Whitfield. Takes the grab on the outer wing. Big crowd has now settled here at Giant Stadium. In excess of 15,000, you would imagine. McDonald goes deep into attack off the hands of Hickey. Parker's well tackled by Isaac Cummings. Swans win it back though. Here's Cornelio. Hickey, like a rag doll, taking off the football. Umpire lets play go on. Ryan Clark squeezes a kick and he spots up Hayden McLean, and the Giants aren't happy. They thought Hickey was caught holding the ball. Umpire let play go on, and McLean can look for his second in a row.
I reckon the message has gone out from John Longmire. Let's not over handball. Let's just try and get territory with the footy. 3 times there they tried to kick the ball without handballing backwards. Twice they were probably tackled with the ball but got a foot to it. The 3rd time they were able to get someone out. Good messaging. Don't go backwards. You just put pressure on yourself.
Hayden McLean will strike this from just inside 50. Tight angle. He's got 2 in a row. He knew it was straight through from the moment it left the boot. He pumps the air. And Hayden McLean has 2 first quarter goals, and the Swans have 5 straight. They are 30. The Giants 4-2-26.
It's a good start. Their big forwards are really creating some trouble down there. It's 6 marks inside 50 in the first quarter. The Giants defence wouldn't be happy about that. But you're right, they're just moving the ball a bit smarter, not mucking around with it. It's obviously quite slippery out there. They're not mucking around with the hands, getting it forward. And sometimes that's all you need to create an opportunity.
We didn't mention it, but one of the stories is Buddy not being there. Can these young forwards stand up? Amadi with 2 goals, McLean with 2 goals. Yeah. Look like they're happy to have the space.
And Logan started to take a few marks late in the quarter.
So not long left in this first quarter. 30 minutes in. The Swans lead by 4 points. Hickey back in the middle. Briggs as well. Ball is bounced. Hickey with the tap. Green's in there, gets the clearance, only goes a few metres. Parker marks, it only went a few metres, so he didn't get paid it. Spills the footy. Giants have the numbers. Green extracts it again. Handballs it almost inside 50. Callum Brown has good position. Fox is there though. Gives it back to Cunningham, who kicks a wild one out of his defensive 50 just to get it out of the area, and it goes out on the full. About 80 metres out from goal. So the Giants will reload straight away through Iden. Time ticking down. Can they get a big mark? Siren sounds. They didn't get it anyway. So at quarter time, the Swans lead 5 straight 30. The Giants 4-2-26. 3 lead changes. A big start to this derby that, well, as we said at the start of the coverage, is going to shape the finals. If the Giants win tonight, they can almost smell finals. If the Swans lose, it might be season over. And it has started beautifully. Despite the rain here in Sydney, it's been a great start.
Yeah, it has. And I think that the Swans would be the ones going into the quarter-time huddle really happy with the way they've prepared and matched up with the Giants. I think Joel mentioned, their keys have got their hands on the footy. As we said, McLean and Marty have kicked 2 goals each. Logan started to get his hands on the ball there late. I think the Heaney matchup at times on Himmelberg has caused them a few issues, but they've really been able to test them out. And what's attributed to that too is their ball movement. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's quick, but they're always trying to find the free.
Yeah, they've been able to execute their plan. Everything that they would have talked about during the week, they've been able to execute well. Like you said, those tools have really given the Giants defenders some trouble. And on the other end, the Giants' tools haven't been able to make that contest. You talked about Riccardi not bringing the ball to the ground a few times. Francis has been able to intercept marks. So it's kind of the opposite. But you can't question the effort intensity from both teams. Both started well. Strong contest. Looking forward to a good game.
It's been a pulsating first quarter. DJ Tiger Lily is playing now to get this big crowd pumped up, but the footy's doing that job, that's for sure, at the moment. Swans goal kickers, Hayden McLean with 2, Joel Amadi with 2 as well, Tom Papley with 1, and for the Giants, it is a goal to Toby Bedford, Jesse Hogan, Daniel Lloyd, and Callum Brown. A big second quarter coming up. This is Grandstand AFL.
Hey, it's Declan and Lavender from Sport and Spice, where the chat is well seasoned.
Spicy even. Every week we keep you in the loop with the juiciest and most important and sometimes most ridiculous sports stories around.
We also chat to plenty of amazing athletes along the way.
I actually got kicked out of school last year.
But down here it is a real fight with rugby league and AFL.
I mean, I'm a bit worried. I don't want to cop it too much.
And I think if you're not a part of it, you should have FOMO.
Sport and Spice. Find it on the ABC Listen app or in the podcast store under the Best of ABC Sport.
Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Spots up Heaney on the wing. McDonald's broken free now. And here's Mark, wants to play on and hits up Papley just inside 50, 45 out. Tom Papley set up Joel Amadi for the Swans' first of the night. Got good purchase on that one. Excellent accuracy as well. The Energizer Bunny of the Sydney Swans is on the board. Rout dropped one he should have taken. In the end, it's kept in. Toby Bedford picks it up when the Swans had the chance to rush it through for a behind. The snap comes in from Hogan and he's kicked it. Well, that is a blunder from Sydney, who couldn't quite rush the ball over. Toby Bedford kept it in. Jesse Hogan snapped and the Giants have their second. McCartan on his back got the handball away. Swans under pressure though. Ollie Florent with a don't argue to Bedford, got him high. Free kick to Bedford. Bedford strikes it cleanly and accurately.
What about the put to sleep celebration? I haven't
What's
seen
that
that one
one?
before.
No,
I don't know what that's about. Anyone know?
I think his nickname's Snooze.
Parker's well tackled by Isaac Cummings. Swans win it back though. Here's Cornelio. Hickey, like a rag doll, taking off the football. Umpire lets play go on. Ryan Clark squeezes a kick and he spots up Hayden McLean. And the Giants aren't happy. They thought Hickey was caught holding the ball. Umpire let play go on and McLean can look for his second in a row from just inside 50. Tight angle. He's got two in a row.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
It's the first quarter shootout at Giant Stadium. The Swans 5 straight 30, GWS 4-2 26. Both sides in excellent form. Joel Patfull and Mark McVeigh, and displaying that in the first quarter.
They are. It's a great contest early. Both teams really playing a good brand of footy. The Swans, I think, probably had the better and controlled the footy for a bit more. They executed their plan going in like we talked about beforehand, and would be really happy with the way they've set up. A big few tools, taking some grabs and kicking goals. Would have been a real emphasis going into the week, especially with all the talk about Buddy. And they've really lined up well and look pretty dangerous going forward with Buddy not being there, which I hate to say, but it does look like the forward line's functioning really well.
I mean, it's 21 inside 50s to 11 in the Giants' favour. I mean, and that's the difference, isn't it? You go inside, if Toby Green's not marking it or Hogan, who is it? You go inside 50 for the Swans at the moment, and they've got three tools marking the footy, so they'll address that. I think Riccardi needs to stand up. He's got to really make sure that Francis doesn't intercept Mark. Hogan, he's going to get his opportunities, and we know Toby Green will be there. I think Fox has started really well. If you watch him off the ball, he's doing a hell of a lot of work. He's not allowing the lead-ups. Toby Green's got 2 or 3 possessions through the middle of the ground, so when he kicks the ball, you know, he's kicking it 80, 90 metres away from goal. That's exactly what you want. You're happy for him to pass it off. You just don't want him inside 50.
Swans out on the ground already, in position. The Giants breaking late from their huddle. A bit more talking to do. Some numbers, Declan Burns, a quarter time.
Yeah, leading the disposals for the Giants, Whitfield and Cornelio with 7. Goulden and Lloyd have started hot with 9 apiece. And in terms of the tackle count, Sam Wicks applying good pressure with 3 tackles. Tom Green back in after a few weeks off. He's got 4 tackles for the Giants.
I'll tell you what stands out. When the Swans are under pressure and they're flicking the ball around and they can't find a target, as soon as Errol gets it, he finds a target. He just finds one. It's incredible. He's just so skillful.
Adam Kingsley said during the week they were going to send someone to him. It doesn't look like anyone's running with him at the moment. Might he have addressed that at quarter time?
I reckon. He might. Well, Nick Haynes lines up him now on the wing. He'll have to have a good look at it. They'll back their system and their game plan first and probably address it from there.
I guess the issue with Goulden is he runs everywhere. He picks up the ball in defensive 50 now, so it's a hard player to match up on, but he's been sensational. Errol Goulden for the Sydney Swans this season. A big first quarter from him as well. Second term about to get underway. Swans with a 4-point lead. Cornelio picks it up clean in the middle of the ground. Long ball into attack. Over the head of Fox and Green. It bounces nicely for Lockie Keefe. Handball over to Bedford. He can snap on goal from the pocket. And it's marked just in play by Jesse Hogan. Bedford's kick was inaccurate. It's set up nicely though for Hogan. I'm not sure that's where the ball was intended. But Hogan can run around and snap his second of the game. Back in after a couple of weeks out with a quad problem. The Giants key forward as 2. GWS start the second quarter beautifully. Back in front they are. 5-2, 32. The Swans 5 straight 30 and Hogan's got a double.
The Giants can thank the centre bounce there from the umpire. I mean, he should have called that back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. The centre bounce is so integral, in the modern era. And that bounce went directly in the path of the Giants. They go inside 50. I mean, it's just got to be recalled back.
So what's the rule? Because it didn't go outside the circle, which is quite often when they do it. It was as if the ball didn't really bounce. It was as if it was a flat footy, and it went straight to Briggs.
Yeah. I think it's just got to go outside that circle. It was right on the line, but it makes a big difference.
Jesse Hogan has kicked multiples now in 12 games this year. He's their second leading goal kicker, the Giants, and gets his second, and as Garby said, puts the Giants back in the lead. The fourth lead change already. We are primed for a big one tonight here on Grandstand AFL. Tap goes the way of the Giants. Goulden's there, he spills it. Green follows up for the Giants. Ward off the deck. It's a bit messy, but it's moved all the way to the 50 for the Giants, although the Swans get a kick out of congestion, and all of a sudden it's back in the middle of the ground. Himmelberg cleans up though. Handballs to Whitfield, who goes wide. The lead comes from Callum Brown. A late spoil from Florent. He's good, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Caught. Brown high has Florent, so a free kick paid. Callum Brown's a long kick, so he can send us deep into attack for GWS. Decides to go short instead. Picks up Tom Green. Back in the Giants side after that hamstring injury. He's third in the competition for average disposals, having a wonderful campaign. Tom Green sends it to the top of the square. Massive leap from Lockie Keefe. Couldn't take the grab. Got a purchase on the football, a little fingertip, which means the free kick wasn't paid. Errol Goulden is tackled just in front of his own behind post. Quick ball up from the umpire. Palmed down by Hickey. Toby Green's there, gets free of the tackler. Falls the way of Tom Green. Snap on goal, won't make the distance. And Goulden thumps it over the boundary line for a rush behind for the Giants. They are 5-3-33. The Swans 5 straight 30, and we've gone 3 minutes in the second quarter.
I reckon Keith's had 3 hanger attempts. He's 0 from 3, but he wants one tonight. Florent on the kick out, spots up Wicks in the middle of the 50. Wicks goes out the outer wing. It's a 2-on-2. Flying from the back was Iden. Good spoil. Lloyd at the front in his 20th derby. Kicks it. Oh, he's tackled as he kicked it. It headed towards the boundary line. One bounce and out. The umpire says free kick. He was under pressure when he kicked it. Unlucky there, so Haynes with the free kick.
Toby Bedford up to 4 tackles already. He had 9 last week against the Bulldogs. He's a machine in that area. 200 gamer Haynes sends it up to half forward. Francis leads Keefe to the football. Free kick though to the Swans for a chop, and they'll play on quickly through Harry Cunningham up to half forward. McDonald's the target. Harry Himmelberg, is able to row for the Giants, but then he's handballed it over the boundary line. Insufficient intent seemed likely. Not paid by the umpire though, and the Swans fans who have travelled to Giant Stadium for this one don't like that. Boundary throw in just outside attacking 50 for Sydney.
Big crowd in tonight. They'll definitely crack the 10K, which they haven't done this year so far. Briggs out of the ruck with the clearance. Goes long and high. Underneath it, McCartan happy to fist it away. Fox was on Green's hammer, picks up the loose ball, and they hand it to Goulden, back to Lloyd, who chips over the top to no one in particular, and Ward was waiting there. Marks in front of Hickey, who was way late to the contest, and the Giants move it forward to Briggs, out to the wing to Haynes, by hand to Green. He bends it around his body. Callum Brown with a bit of space, but Francis bravely stood in the hole, punched it forward. Kelly can't get clean possession, so Rowbottom grabs it. His handball to Bedford though. Gives it to Green. Shot to towards the goal, but it was actually towards Hogan in the end, and a free kick going the way of the Swans. Yeah, Tom McCartan will get the free.
I think they've got to be really smart here. They just got to keep finding the free. This long kick doesn't help them.
Giants have started the second term well. McCartan's ball to the wing. Roved again by the Giants. Tom Green with the handball inboard to Whitfield. Has Lockie Ash running off him, and he spots up Bedford inside 50. The kick barely went the 15. But Toby Bedford will kick from just inside 50, straight in front, looking for his second of the game.
Well, I just think, Joel, it's a clear one for me. As soon as they kick the ball long, they outnumber at the contest if they don't mark it, and they go back inside 50. Their game plan in the first 15 minutes of the first quarter, lower your eyes, get territory, hit up the leads, get it as deep as you possibly can, and expose their backs.
What about Tom Green's first game back? Up to 11 disposals already. having a big impact in the early stages of this quarter. Bedford strikes it from just inside 50. He's pulled it across the face. GWS 5-4-34. The Swans are 5 straight 30. 6 minutes gone in the second quarter here on ABC Grandstand.
Wasting no time is Lloyd. Goes up the line and waiting there. Spills a mark he should have taken was Heaney. Goes the second effort. Coming through is Warner. Palms off Iden, who held on, so he hands it off to Parker. He goes up the line by foot. Clark tripped over. Goulden sprints through. Can't pick it up on first go. Taps it forward. Gets the hands to Wicks. Goulden keeps running. Gets the hands inside 50. Outside of his left foot. Errol Goulden, you're kidding. He's got to get an All-Australian jacket this year. Goulden ran from half-back, involved in 3 separate chains there, and was hard up against the boundary line with a left foot special. They've kicked 6 straight, the Swans, 6 straight 36 to 5-4-34.
That is outrageous.
That's one of the better goals you'll see.
He doesn't look inboard here. He look at how deliberate this is. That's super
fun.
confidence.
That's fun.
Super confidence, super skill, nicely balanced, never in doubt.
He is a special footballer, is Errol Goulden. I mean, we are seeing the makings of a champion of the competition.
Sydney Swans Academy boy.
What a gem he's been if you talk about draft picks. Picked 32. And he is proving to be one of the very best in the comp in just his 3rd season. And that is a contender for goal of the season. Margin in favour of the Swans by 2 points, but the Giants win it off centre half back. Looping handball from Tom Green out to Nick Haynes, who has a couple of bounces. Can he kick one in his 200th? Decides to spot up an option that he likes inside 50 instead. And Brent Daniels has marked. It is slingshot footy here at Giant Stadium, but it's thrilling. And Brent Daniels has the chance to put the Giants back in front.
But they've done that better this quarter, the Giants. They've lowered the odds going inside 50. It obviously wasn't working with that long kick inside 50. That's the last 2 inside 50s there. They've been a bit more composed, lowered the eyes and found the target.
Averaging 16 touches and 1.4 goals a game this season, Brent Daniels. That's a career high. Fortunately, that one is across the face for him. And the margin is just 1 point. GWS 5-5-35. The Swans 6 straight 36. 8.5 gone in the second quarter.
Blakey back on the ground. Only 3 touches to this point. So he goes back and says, I want a free one from the goal square. Runs out of it. Kicks up the line, but it's gone straight to a Giant. Lloyd misses it for the Giants, so Fox is there, but his handball misses the target as well. It comes to Haynes, who bends one around inside 50. Hogan is late to the contest, brings it to ground. Mills was there, hands to Warner. He goes long. Ashby Wicks. Ball came to the front. Iden was there for the Giants. And they're going to move it forward, but Warner takes the intercept mark just outside half-back.
Swans look to play on quickly again. Warner to row bottom at centre half-back. A long ball, but there's no one attacking that one for the Swans, and Himmelberg's able to mark at centre half-back. Short to Briggs, and now out wide to Isaac Cumming. He was meant to be the sub, but Finn Callaghan, the late omission, general soreness, meant Cumming came into the 22. Ryan Angwin the sub now. The mark is dropped on the wing by a Giant in Jack Buckley, and Tom Hickey wraps him up. Ball up in front of the interchange gates. Swans by a point, 6 straight 36. The Giants 5-5-35.
Briggs grabs it out of the ruck, hands it to Tom Green. Goes to Cumming and then to Cornelio, who has so much time to weigh it up. Goes forward, waiting there. Spare is Tom McCartan, who cleans up. He's backing back. He's running backwards. Eventually gets the call from Blakey, who's basically in the goal square for the Swans. No one he likes on the outer side, so he comes back the way it came. Braden Campbell takes a one-hander in front of Cumming. That was beautiful.
Need to just freeze through the middle of the ground.
They want to attack the corridor, the Swans, but that's dangerous. And Toby Green, unfortunately from his point of view, has pushed Tom Papley front on. He ended up taking the mark, but he did infringe initially. Giants fans don't like it. Papley has the free kick, back of the square, centre half back. Looks for Tom Hickey on a lead, takes a good grab, Tom Hickey, back in the side, assuming number 1 ruck responsibilities again. Grabs it on the wing, plays on quickly, long ball into attack. McDonald has a spoiled away from him. Wicks does the roving and the goaling front and centre. The quick snap, one bouncing through from Sam Wicks after 3 goals last week. And the Swans are out to a 7-point lead. They are 7 straight 42. The Giants 5-5-35, and that's a big one from Sam Wicks.
Well, the Giants won't be happy with the way and the ease that their Swans are able to score with at the moment. They're scoring in a different way now. Speed on the ball, going inside 50. That's 2 smalls that have kicked a goal. Their bigs haven't been able to mark it. But I think it's the ball movement for me that's causing the Giants a little concern. They're making sure that all the defenders from the Giants have to play on someone. They're lowering their eyes, they're hitting a target, and when they get the opportunity to go long in deep, they're going to work.
When they're not comfortable with the Giants defenders, you see there, they're just giving that metre or two. They're not really locking in and putting that body pressure on, which is creating these opportunities inside 50.
A goal for Sam Wicks, who is off contract, playing for a spot in the Swans going forward, and an important goal. And guess who gets the clearance? It's Errol Goulden. No, the umpire says there was a free. It's going the way of the Giants. It's Stephen Cornelio in the centre of the ground who'll receive the free kick. Has the whole 50 ahead of him. Short if he wants his Briggs, but long will be the option. 6 on 6. Hickey's gone back. Big leap from the back from Hogan. Rowbottom was at the front. Cleans up. Rush kick outside 50. And again, Cornelio waiting there in the centre of the ground. He'll receive it where he had the free kick.
Cornelio goes short. Finds his ruckman in Kieran Briggs. Looks like Cornelio might be trying to quell the influence of Errol Goulden. Running alongside each other a fair bit. Briggs goes long into attack. Over the back of the pack. Slapped away from it by McCartan. Rowbottom gathers it cleanly. It's a scrappy kick though, and picked off by Sam Taylor of the Giants in the middle of the ground. Quick hand ball to Lockie Ash. Haynes marks it at right half forward, plays on quickly and finds Riccardi just outside attacking 50. Riccardi gets to his feet. Distance will probably be an issue from here. Just spotted up into the pocket. Find Nick Haynes.
Plenty of numbers back here for the Swans. Have a look at that. 15 players inside their defensive 50.
So Nick Haynes in game 200. Pick 7 in the 2011 draft. Wouldn't this put an exclamation mark on his milestone game if he can slot it from here, right up against the boundary line, 50 out.
Got a unique swing on his kicking, Nick Haynes. Don't know if he means it.
Just 12 goals in his 199 games. He's got his 13th and his 200. Oh, Nick Haynes. That's the way to remember a big night. With a special goal from a tight angle. And his teammates who adore him come to congratulate him. And the Giants pull the margin back to just a solitary point. 6-5-41 GWS. The Swans 7 straight 42, 14 gone in the second quarter.
Did you mean unique like you were backing him in?
Yeah, well, he always kicks it left to right, straight drop punts.
Yeah.
If he's in the back line and you want him to kick it long down the line, it always drifts to the middle of the ground. So I thought if he does that here, it's going to go through, and it went through.
He's a chance.
The third GWS draftee to reach 200 games. Cornelio should do that this year in the last round. It's game 197 tonight, but it's all about Nick Haynes. A milestone major for him. Back in the middle, McLean wrestled as he got the clearance. It only went a few metres, so it's stuck in the centre circle. And as usual, Tom Green with the contested possession gets the clearance. Kick inside 50. Ball comes to the front to Fox, who's been quiet but also has been doing his job, and gets a kick here. Only as far as Perryman. Goes straight back in. Quick entry for the Giants. It works for them, but Riccardi spills the mark. He had Blakey beat. Good body on him, but spilt a mark he should have taken.
Jolie, those 3 rush kicks from the back half, they've got to be a bit more composed.
I was just going to say, they're actually dominating with that setup, the Giants there. They're very aggressive, and those kicks outside 50, they're just picking them off. 3 in a row, straight back inside 50.
Both John Longmire and Adam Kingsley coaching from the bench. Boundary thrown in attack for the Giants. Swans lead by a point. Haynes, who kicked the last goal in his 200th game, couldn't get hands on the footy. Josh Kelly in the pink boots takes it over the boundary line. He'll be thrown in from the exact same spot as the last one.
So the ball will land about 40 metres out from that Giants goal. They trail by a point. 16 minutes gone here on Grandstand AFL. Big fist from McLean. It's going to one bounce almost over the boundary line. Whitfield keeps it in just. Papley was waiting there for it. On his left, it's another rush kick. Tapped down by Perryman. Rowbottom went off the ground, but it walked straight into a Giants defender. Went the other way. Parker wraps up. Is it Briggs at the bottom of the pack or Kelly? I think it's Kelly, and we'll have a ball up about 55 metres out from the Giants' goal.
Umpire throws it up quickly, palmed down by McLean. Swans get the clearance that they needed badly. McDonald gives them a contest on the wing. Brian Clark at the base of the pack gave it straight to Jack Buckley. Free kick on the play though. It'll come back to Lockie Whitfield. Kick from the logo. Buckley's hurt. Keep an eye on him. Whitfield's kicks at Lockie Keefe was dangerous. Keefe didn't quite attack the football. And the Swans have won it at centre half back. The handball wide to Rowbottom. His kick goes looking for Logan McDonald at half forward. Did well to keep his feet. And then give it back to Wicks. Quick kick into attack. Amadi controlled it. It spills free. Hayward will pick it up, run to the goal line and slam through another for the Swans. And they are 8 straight 48. Will Hayward with his first of the game. The Giants 6-5-41.
Joel, I think it's just so important that the Swans keep 6 ahead of the footy, because they are trying to get territory. You can clearly see they're putting away the lower the eyes or the quick handball. If you want to gain territory, you have to keep 6 forwards ahead to give yourself the best opportunity. And Sam Taylor can't be sitting there. And those couple of times they were able to compete, they were able to outnumber at times, or at least have an even number, and they created an unlikely goal.
Well, they did, and they're giving themselves an opportunity by having space inside 50 as well. They aren't giving the Giants enough time to get too many players back there. See, it was a 2-on-2 inside 50, just from a quick kick, ball fumbles out, and they create a goal. So the one thing they are doing well is scoring when they're getting inside 50.
Swans extend their lead. Warner with the clearance. It's a rush kick inside 50. Spare is Ash, who mops up. Goes out the outer wing, and will find Cornelio on an easy lead. He waits, plays on eventually, waits for the running Cumming, who gets past him. They're going to go by hand to Whitfield. His kick is smothered. Swans have numbers. It's with Parker. He handballs inboard to Mills, then to Ryan Clark. Great kick forward to Logan McDonald. Warner's running past him. They'll enter 50 here. Heaney has space, and he marks. Good spread from the contest. The Giants were moving it forward, but broke down play. And Heaney will kick for goal on a pretty tight angle from about 35 metres.
So 3 forwards involved in that turnover. Heaney, Clark, and I think it was potentially Big McLean. So that's great pressure, great running. That's exactly what they need to do.
Heaney turns his body on the side. He's going round the corner on his right foot. Kicked it. Isaac Heaney, who's kicked 13 goals in his last 6 games after a bit of an up and down start following on from that All-Australian jumper. He's back in form. He kicks the 9th straight goal. The Swans can't miss. 9 straight 54 to 6-5-41 here on Grandstand AFL. Your experts Mark McVeigh and Joel Padfull.
You talked about having 6 in front of the footy, but they had 5 of them. But Heaney was able to get involved in the contest and then break forward and find space inside 50 as well. So they're finding ways to score goals both ways.
So the Swans have a scoring accuracy of 55.3% from 15 to 30 metres out. That's last in the AFL and well below the AFL average of 65%. It's amazing what accurate kicking does to a team's fortunes. They're currently 9 straight 54.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game plan they've brought. The Giants now have to work their way through this.
Swans by 13 points. 10 minutes gone, second term. Tom Green wins it again in the middle. Callan Ward slung as he kicked it. That allows Braden Campbell to pick it up on the wing. Handball inboard to Parker. He finds Wicks on a lead. Marks it.
Should have fallen over there. Wicks would have got a free kick. Lockie Ash pushed him in the back.
Assesses his options. And now sends it up high for the lead of Amati. He gets caught under the football. Taylor slaps it away from him. Josh Kelly with a quick kick will be straight to a contest, but Callum Brown does well to mark in front of Florent, crucially at centre half back.
Brown has options to his left. Kelly's there, and he takes it. Out on the wing, Josh Kelly marks. He's only his 8th possession. Leading all comers is Tom Green with 15. Josh Kelly holds it up. The wing, his destination. McLean was jack in the middle but couldn't mark it. It came to the front. Rowbottom and Ward do battle. Two contested beasts. Ward wins it out. Handball to Ash. He goes across into the centre square, and Himmelberg marks about just to the right of the centre circle.
Harry Himmelberg, a few days of signing a fresh 6-year deal to stay a GWS player. Finds Tom Green, but that's a poor effort. Callum Mills read it well. The kick was intended for Josh Kelly. He marked it at centre half back, and they play on quickly again from half back, the Swans. Cunningham to Lloyd, puts it out in front of Sam Wicks. He does the shepherding, allowing Isaac Heaney to pick it up for 2 in a row. Heaney, if you don't mind, off one step from the pocket. Isaac Heaney's back in form, and the Swans cannot miss. They are 10 straight 60, and they've opened up a 19-point lead over the Giants, who are 6-5, 41-22 gone second quarter.
Well, that's his third, isn't it, Garb? I think, his third goal. The speed on that second, the speed on that from turnover again, though. Yeah, that's midfielders getting back, forwards emptying out, backs having their man covered, and when they turn it over, they're getting them on the spread.
Are they almost beating the Giants at their own game at the moment?
They are. I was just about to say, they're beating them at their own game. It's the Red Tsunami. They're getting back inside 50, they're turning it over, and then they're beating them on the other way. So they've obviously thought long and hard about the game plan and what they wanted to bring to beat this Giants team, and they're executing it perfectly.
So the Swans lead by 19 points. 22 minutes gone in the second term. Papley thrown in the middle. He's had 9 touches already. Can he get another clearance here? Briggs with the tap. Papley circling, but Kelly was the better of the two. He handballs to Briggs through the middle of the ground. They go long, the Giants, to a one-on-one. Francis does well to just body out to O'Keefe, who missed the mark. Ball stays in play, but running through was Florin. His kick outside 50 is to no one. In fact, it's out on the full, about 80 metres out from that Giants attacking end.
With Daniel Lloyd, he kicked the first goal of the game. We'll have a shot from the tightest of angles.
You got this in him, Joel?
He's probably 10 too far out, isn't he?
Would have thought.
He'll kick it from 60. It won't make the distance. It's set up to a dangerous area. Leaping was Callum Brown. Soccering was Toby Green. Oh, the skipper's been quiet up until now, but good luck getting through a half without him having a say in it. And Toby Green slams it through after the ball hit the ground from the pack. We'll have a score review just to make sure this wasn't touched. I'm not sure how this is going to be overturned unless it hit the leg of a Swans player.
The Swans defenders aren't setting up like it was touched. The midfielder's almost back in the centre square.
And the soft call was goal, I'm quite sure. So this should be Toby Green's first of the night at a much needed time for the Giants, who trail by 19 points. 24 gone in the second quarter. Robbie Fox has done an excellent job on him so far.
Yeah, I think at the start of the game you could tell he was on. He's done a sensational job. How often does Toby Green get to the right spot when the ball hits the ground? Like, it's quite phenomenal the way he can read it off the hand. He's there for that half a chance, turns it into a full chance all the time.
Well, that's why he's so good, isn't it? It's a half chance that most players probably would maybe overrun that or not get a boot to it, but he's that good that he finds a way to get himself in the right spot and finish.
Insufficient evidence to overturn the soft call, so a goal for the Giants. Margin is back to 13 points. Toby Green has his first on the game. A true Rovers goal. Let's get down to Poppy Petty on the boundary.
Yeah, Nick Blakey has had the physio out to him a couple of times in this quarter. He's still looking pretty uncomfortable on that glute. He's had a couple of chats with the physio, but the sub is not yet warming up. And some very good news, it has stopped raining down here.
Very good for you and for the fans who have packed in tonight. It is looking over 3/4 full, so they've turned up here for two teams who can play finals. And Toby Green, for the first time in his career, has kicked 50 goals in a year. He's leading the Giants goal kicking, of course. So congrats to Toby Green, who gets a much-needed goal. 13 points the difference, 25 minutes gone. And we're back in the middle. Hickey had a long chat to Goulden there. Let's see if he can get the footy to him. It goes to Rowbottom instead. Hands off to Papley. Long inside 50. And waiting there, beautiful mark, Harry Himmelberg. Re-signed for 6 years during the week. A Giant for life. and a loyal man. He's through that Giants Academy, had the Swans courting him, and signed that lifetime deal. He goes wide to Kelly, who goes to Ash.
He made the move with Himmelberg off Heaney. He started on Wicks there at that centre bounce.
Ash's kick was dangerous and well read by Hayward. Picks it off at half forward. He's got an open 50. He'll snap it into a dangerous area. As McLean held it for long enough, the spoil came from Taylor, but the umpire said McLean has taken the mark. And now it's on. The Swans didn't like the late attention that McLean received from Taylor. It's all managed to fizzle out pretty quickly, but the dangerous kick-in board was picked off by Hayward, and now McLean will look for his third goal of the first half from 45 out, slightly to the right.
Well, it's a target player. It's clear they're targeting him every time a mistake is made. His direct opponent takes a mark or he gives away a free kick. They're into him.
Hayden McLean moved back into the forward line with Tom Hickey back into the team, and he is kicking beautifully. He has 3 goals to his name, and he lets his opponent Sam Taylor know about it. And it's on again. Well, you don't often see a defender targeted, but such is the brilliance of Sam Taylor. This is deliberate from the Swans. The key part, though, Joel Patfull, is that Hayden McLean and Joel Amati, who was on Sam Taylor early, have the better of Taylor at the moment.
Well, they're doing the perfect job, really. They're attracting the footy and they're not giving him an opportunity to zone off and intercept as well as he has been. But a clear instruction from the Swans that they're going to target Sam Taylor, and they're putting him in dangerous positions so they can use their forwards. So, I mean, like you said, it's not something that you see every week, a key defender getting targeted, but that's how good he's been over the last 5 or 6 weeks, that they need to put that time and energy into him. And look, it's going to be a tough game for him to respond if they keep going down this track, because he's going to be in the hot seat for most of the night.
I reckon it's great, boys. That's fantastic. Bring it on.
Hayden McLean, the second time in 2023, he's had a bag of 3. We're in the middle. Parker hands off to Papley, who veers wide, has a bounce, kicks it to Hayward, who marks about 60 out. Points to the goal. I think he's pointing to the area where he wants a lead. Waits and waits. And it'll be a hot spot kick. Let's see if Taylor can get involved here. Briggs is down there as well, but Hickey spoils. Waiting there, McDonald just missed the crumb. Rowbottom gets his hands on the footy. The umpire's found a free kick going the way of the Giants. May that get Sam Taylor into the game.
Swans 11 straight 66. The Giants 7-5-47. Incredible accuracy from Sydney. Himmelberg marks in the back pocket. Looks at home in defence. The man who moved in there first, Mark McVeigh, of course, when he was the coach of the Giants in the second half of last season. Himmelberg's kick up the wing. There's a whistle on the play. Free kick to the Swans. And it goes the way of Tom McCartan. That must give you some pride, Mark McVeigh, that move that you made last year is working for Adam Kingsley this season.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for a little slice of the 4.5 million over 5.
McCartan goes deep. McLean second grab, nearly gets it. Taylor pushes it out. McLean gets it on the ground. Handballs to Parker. Kick off the ground. Buckley there for the Giants. He kicks outside 50. It's a kick and hope. Green on Fox. It's been an intriguing battle. Green beats him in the one-on-one this time and finds Daniel up the ground. Brent Daniel streams away from the contest. Has a bounce. Goes long. Florent on Bedford. Ball comes to the front to Keefe. Francis wraps him up. Footy spills free. And first there, it's Cunningham. Bedford wrapped him up though, and there'll be a ball up just inside the Giants 50.
Jolie, you were a great defender for a long time. I really like the way Francis is playing. He's just using his bodies well, getting in the way, dropping off at the right time.
Excellent tackle by Bedford on Florent. Caught him holding the ball. He's torturing him at the moment. Toby Bedford on Ollie Florent. Wanted to play on quickly, does now. Just outside 50 is Toby Green. Chisels one for the lead of Hogan. Not sure the Giants had to play on there. Swans have won it back. Blakey with a handball to Hickey in the left back pocket. Finds a target in Logan McDonald, and the Giants burn an opportunity.
Don't need to go fast here at all. Do not need to go fast. Find another short if you can.
Logan McDonald does take his time at half-back for the Swans. Penetrating kick. McLean, well done. Marks in front of Taylor. They've got his measure tonight. Hands it off to Parker. Bit of a screwy inside 50. Heaney one-on-one with Buckley. Good spoil from the Giants defender, and will go out of bounds off Clark.
Taylor's getting frustrated, Mark McVeigh. You know him pretty well. He's a competitive beast. He doesn't like it when it goes against him.
Well, it's one of those things. They're targeting him. They're getting him off the ball. He's getting out-marked on a couple of occasions. They're doing exactly what they want with him. But he's a great player. He'll just keep turning up, Sam Taylor.
31 minutes gone, second quarter. Swans lead by 19 points. Lockie Ash gets free of the row bottom tackle. Finds Cornelia with the handball. Giants get free of defensive 50. Haynes inboard to Brent Daniels. Can the Giants get one before the halftime siren? Daniels to centre half forward. Excellent mark by Toby Green. He's been cleaned up by Aaron Francis. He's straight back on his feet though. That looked ugly for a second. Green was 50. Caught high.
50 every day of the week.
No 50 metres on the play. We know Toby Green is as tough as they come. And he'll kick this from 60. He has slotted one from this distance before on this ground against the Bulldogs last season. He's a long way out. The captain doesn't quite get the purchase he would like on it. Aaron Francis didn't take the mark. Brent Daniels spinning at the top of the goal square, couldn't connect, and Errol Goulden clears danger.
But it's only as far as Ash drops the mark. Halftime siren incoming. Ash for goal from 50, hits the post. Oh, the Giants would have loved that. So 7-6-48 to 11 straight 66. They trail by 18 points, the Giants. 2 shots for goal in the last minute of play there, but they couldn't make either of them work. I guess 3. Daniels had a slot for goal right on the edge of the goal square. Couldn't get it through. So halftime here at Giant Stadium. As I said, the Swans haven't missed. 11-0-66 to 7-6-48.
The Giants have a challenge on their hands, Mark McVeigh, as we go through the goal kickers. A couple for Amati. For the Swans, 2 for Isaac Heaney. Hayden McLean has 3 singles to Hayward, Papley, Wicks and Goulden. And for the Giants, 2 to Jesse Hogan and singles to Toby Green, Toby Bedford, Nick Haynes in his 200th game, Daniel Lloyd and Callum Brown. Swans by 18 at the half. The Giants on 5 occasions this season have come back from deficits at 3/4 time to win, and there's another challenge being thrown their way tonight for the boys from the other side of the town.
Yeah, well, I think the game plan that the Swans have brought has really brought the Giants back a peg. They've beaten them at their own game at times. I think late in that last quarter, they're able to get their running and chain game going. As we can see in the middle of the ground, I love seeing this at half-time, but you can clearly see here the Swans getting together in the middle of the ground talking about, now that's the way we want to play. This is what we want to do. We're into Sam Taylor. Our tools are kicking goals. We're beating them at their own game. They'll be going into the halftime break really confident, up and about. Whereas the Giants, you know what they're going to bring. They're going to come out. They're going to stick to their game plan. They know they can get it going. You go to sleep for 5 minutes in a quarter, the Giants will put 3 on you. There's no doubt about that. So there's plenty to work on at halftime, plenty of chats to be had. But right now you'd have to say, even though, again, the inside 50 count is skewed again to the Giants, the Swans have probably had dominant first half.
Well, the Giants, like you said, it's 40-23 inside 50. So 40 inside 50 is in a half is extraordinary high. And to not be able to, outscore the opposition, the Swans have kicked 11 straight, which is also extraordinary.
Yeah.
So and they've kicked some amazing goals in there as well. So I think we're in for a big second half. I think the game's going to level out a little bit. The Giants have got to be more efficient going forward. They keep kicking it long, turning over. They have been able to turn it over and get it back inside 50, but they're just not making the most of those opportunities. And then the Swans are getting them on the counter-attack, getting them out the back and getting that space inside 50 and kicking goals. So I think we're in for a big second half. The Swans have executed their game plan perfectly. They're frustrating the Giants. They're getting under the skin of their key defenders. And they're really putting them under the pump. So interesting to see where we go.
Well, the 40 inside 50s, I reckon with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, it starts to hurt you.
Yep.
Doesn't it? It starts to get you. So the Swans are going to have to slow that up because their defenders are working overtime. They're working really hard. They're doing a fantastic job. But it's also a credit to what they're doing. Their forwards are getting up the ground, which allow their midfield to get in the back half, which you call, Jolie. They're flooding that back half a little bit, which is stopping that efficiency. So they're doing a good job there.
The Giants are looking for 8 wins in a row. The Swans 4 on the bounce. And would this not, if the score stays the way it is come the full-time siren, put the Swans back into calculations.
Massive.
I mean, they'll get a lot of attention their way if they can carry on with this, but it's not an easy thing to do because the Giants have surged from behind on numerous occasions this season. It is set up for a special second half from Giant Stadium, that is for sure. The Swans, who cannot miss, 11 straight 66, lead the Giants by 18 points. They are 7-6-48. And the other game at half-time this evening at Cardinia Park, it's Geelong leading Port Adelaide by 17 points at half-time. The Cats are 9-5-59. Port, after a tough week after the concussion drama from the showdown, a 6-6-42. And perhaps their quest to hold on to a top 2 spot is under threat at the moment. And the other results today, Essendon beat West Coast by a point at Docklands. Adelaide beat Gold Coast by 28 points at the Adelaide Oval, and in a massive upset in the twilight game at the MCG, Hawthorn beat Collingwood by 32 points. Nick Dacos kept to just 5 possessions by Finn McGuinness before he then left the ground with an injury. So it's been a tough day for Pies fans who still hold top spot, though. Second half is coming your way from here at Giant Stadium. It should be an absolute beauty. In the meantime, though, let's pause and get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has rejected calls to delay, defer or cancel the referendum on an Indigenous voice to Parliament. National Indigenous correspondent Carly Williams has more at the Garma Festival.
In a keynote speech at Garma Festival in northeast Arnhem Land, the Prime Minister has promised to hold the voice referendum this year, but has not announced a date for the vote.
We will not deny the urgency of this moment. We will not kick the can down the road.
Recent polls show support for a yes vote has been trending down, with some warning both publicly and privately that the vote should be delayed.
Western Australia's property industry says it would welcome alleged plans to scrap the state's contentious new Aboriginal cultural heritage laws as a sensible decision. It's understood the state government will make an announcement on the legislation's fate within days, following months of criticism from farming, development and mining industries. Under the laws, some landowners would be required to check for the presence of cultural heritage before undertaking certain activities on their property. However, there are concerns the Act's requirements were too onerous. WA Property Council Executive Director Sandra Brewer says there's goodwill within the industry to get some form of the legislation right for the future.
A lot of stakeholders have put a great deal of effort into supporting the aspirations of the Act, which is to protect Aboriginal cultural heritage. I think it became clear that in its current form, the Act is unworkable.
2 women have been airlifted to hospital in a critical condition after a 2-vehicle crash in far north Queensland. Emergency services were called to Kennedy Highway near Mareeba around 3:15 this afternoon. The women, aged in their 60s and 80s, have been taken to Cairns Hospital. 5 other patients were taken to Mareeba Hospital in a stable condition. An elderly woman has died in hospital 1 week after being hit by a car in Sydney South. The 70-year-old woman was crossing the Princess Highway at Cogra at around 5:15 in the morning when she was struck by a car last Wednesday. She was taken to St George Hospital in a critical condition where she later died. The driver, a 45-year-old woman, was uninjured at the scene and released after being questioned by police. An investigation is ongoing. Former US President Donald Trump has described the latest felony charges against him as ridiculous and says they can only help his campaign to regain the top job in next year's election. Speaking at a campaign event in the southern state of Alabama, Trump poured scorn on the criminal proceedings he now faces, including charges over his efforts to overturn his loss to Democrat Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election.
It's not a legal case. It's an act of desperation by a failed and disgraced crooked Joe Biden and his radical left thugs to preserve their grip on power. They want to do anything they can to preserve it, and we are in their way because we want to bring our country back. Our country has never been so bad.
South Australian protesters have demanded the ban on greyhound racing on the steps of State Parliament today. Last month, the ABC News aired video recordings of greyhounds being kicked and punched at a property southeast of Adelaide. 2 greyhound trainers were subsequently suspended by Greyhound Racing South Australia, while the racing code will also be reviewed by the state government. Ellie Trahair from the Coalition of Greyhounds believes criminal charges are warranted for people violently abusing their racing dogs.
Greyhounds need people like us to speak up for them. They've been abreast for far too long in South Australia, and we're here to change that. We think we should see the end of greyhound racing here in South Australia. It's outdated and has no place in our society.
To sport, in Spain has earned a place in the Women's World Cup soccer quarterfinals thanks to a history-making 5-1 victory over Switzerland at Auckland's Eden Park. Chloe Hart reports.
Spain kicked off the knockout phase in emphatic fashion, producing the biggest ever winning margin in a round of 16. It's also the first time Spain has made it to the quarterfinals. The Spanish started strongly, scoring the opener in just the 5th minute, but quickly gave up an own goal to level the scores 1-1. From then on, there were few Spanish mistakes, up 3 goals at half-time and going on to win 5-1. The victory was watched by a record 43,000 fans, the highest ever attendance at Eden Park for a soccer match in New Zealand's history. Spain will next take on the winner of tomorrow's game between the Netherlands and South Africa.
And Gold Coast have moved to the top of the NRLW ladder thanks to a 10-8 victory over Cronulla. Earlier, the Broncos picked up their first win of the season, beating North Queensland 40-12 in Townsville. This is ABC News.
You'll always find top drama on ABC iView. Show me what you got. Always intriguing with The Messenger and Smother. I don't know who to trust anymore.
People think I'm a psycho.
Always dramatic with Vandervolk and In Our Blood.
She really doesn't like you. The world needs beautiful things right now.
And always different with In Limbo, Bay of Fires, and so much more.
I'm back for an encore.
A surprise holiday. You'll always find the best drama. Happy. Streaming for free on ABC iView. Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Goes up the line by foot. Clark tripped over. Goulden sprints through. Can't pick it up on first go. Taps it forward. Gets the hands to Wicks. Goulden keeps running. Gets the hands inside 50. Outside of his left foot. Ella Goulden, you're kidding.
Haynes marks it at right half forward. Plays on quickly and finds Riccardi. Just outside attacking 50. Just spotted up. Into the pocket, find Nick Haynes. In game 200.
Got a unique swing on his kicking, Nick Haynes. Don't know if he means it.
Just 12 goals in his 199 games. He's got his 13 in his 200. Oh, Nick Haynes. That's the way to remember a big night. Cunningham to Lloyd. Puts it out in front of Sam Wicks. He does the shepherding, allowing Isaac Heaney to pick it up for 2 in a row. Heaney. Oh. If you don't mind, off one step from the pocket. Isaac Heaney's back in form, and the Swans cannot miss. Daniel Lloyd kicked the first goal of the game. It won't make the distance. It's set up to a dangerous area. Leaping was Callum Brown. Soccering was Toby Green. Oh, the skipper's been quiet up until now, but good luck getting through a half without him having a say in it.
How often does Toby Green get to the right spot when the ball hits the ground? Like, it's quite phenomenal the way he can read it off the hand. He's there for that half a chance, turns it into a full chance.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
And now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
The 26th Sydney Derby is living up to the billing here at Giants Stadium. Plenty of action, plenty of goals, a shootout. It is 11 straight 66 the Swans. They have an 18-point lead over the Giants, who are 7-6-48. Daniel Garb here with you, Declan Byrne in commentary. Our experts are Mark McVeigh and Joel Patfull. Boys, we've established that the Swans are beating the Giants at their own game so far. So what does Adam Kingsley do now to try and change things?
Well, the Giants have got to be more efficient going inside 50. They're obviously getting their hands on the ball and they're getting inside 50. So they've got to make a few moves up there, whether it's, a change in structure, a change in personnel, have a different look at that. Maybe throw, a different look into the mix. Get Toby a bit, they've put Toby up the ground to get him involved. I don't think Lockie O'Keefe's up there and he hasn't really been doing much. So they need to get a bit of a different look inside 50 and turn those opportunities into goals.
I reckon you're exactly right. I think they'll have to look at Himmelberg. I think they'll look at Himmelberg and go, okay, we're actually getting a lot of inside 50s. How important has he been to that, which, I don't know. What's Himmelberg had? He's had the 10.
5 marks too.
Yeah, he's had the 5 marks. Can Lockie Keefe go back, who has played as a backman majority of his AFL career, just hold down that? They know they're probably still going to get a lot of inside 50s and try and create more marks and more opportunities. This is a night for Harry Himmelberg when he goes forward, because it's on the ground, it's dewy, he is a bit wet, he is really dangerous on the ground. Can he provide some sort of spark up there along with Toby Green and Hogan to be a bit more efficient?
It's probably the obvious one, isn't it? It's just whether they're willing to sacrifice that. Like they've kept him back so consistently over the last 6 weeks. But you say Riccardi and O'Keefe, both 4 touches each, haven't had much of an impact, so they need to change something up there.
It's party time here in Greater Western Sydney. GWS have won 7 on the bounce. Harry Himmelberg signed a big deal. They've thwarted off the advances of other clubs. Lockie Ash has agreed to stay. There's a big crowd in attendance, and DJ Tiger Lily's pumping out some belting tunes as well. So it's going off. The only thing going wrong for them is the scoreboard at the moment, which is in favour of the Swans. And of course, this stadium, as you can imagine, heavily populated by Sydney Swans supporters as well. The stats that matter to half-time, Declan Byrne, and then who needs to stand up, Mark McVeigh, Joel Patfull, in the second half from a Giants point of view and to help the Swans hold on to things?
So starting with disposals, Tom Green has had 17, but kicking efficiency only at 38. Luke Parker, who's won 5 Brett Kirk medals, number 26 in the 26th Derby, has 16 touches. So I wonder if he can make it number 6. And tackles, a guy that the Giants just love. 7 tackles for Toby Bedford. He came in round 7, which was the first Derby of the year. He kicked his first goal in Giants colours against Sydney. But that tackle pressure, Garby, you mentioned averaging 5.5 tackles a game. He's already at 7 for the half.
Yeah, snooze Bedford, was it?
Snoozy?
Yeah.
Snooze, you lose.
No, I think we probably touched on it just before the stats. For the Giants, they need to get that efficiency up. I just wonder whether the Swans can sustain this, and that's going to be their challenge. We have alluded to that Nick Blakey looked like he's sort of favouring one side of his body in terms of an injury potentially. Let's hope he can get through that. We know that the sub could be activated any time. I just don't think the Giants are going to change too much in regards to the way they play. I think it's the personnel ahead of the footy that can help them be a bit more efficient. But they've won 7 in a row and played a really good year due to the way they've been able to do it. Last week in the second half against the Bulldogs completely stopped. They didn't test them out. The Giants really got their game going, and that's the worry, or not the worry, but that's what John Longmire and his coaches would be thinking. Hey boys, we scouted it during the week. We know what they did to the Western Bulldogs in the second half. Remember, the Western Bulldogs, 47-16 at half-time last week. So they can put numbers on you really quickly. They'll be really wary of it and making sure their players are clued into it.
Well, you're right. I don't think the Giants would be overly worried with where they're at right now. They obviously haven't been executing, but they're still in the game. And like you said, they have been able to track down a lead in the last few weeks. For the Swans, it's exactly what you said. They have been playing a high-intensity game in terms of getting numbers back inside 50. Their midfielders are working back. Their forwards are working back. And defending that amount of inside 50s takes a toll on your defenders as well. So it's whether they can keep maintaining that for the rest of the game. That's going to be the key.
So is it more a case of trust the process? The Giants know it worked for them last week. They know that even the first half, a couple of weeks ago against the Suns, it was tight, and then they got on top.
Well, Deck, as a player, you want to go into half-time and be being given a lot of confidence from your coaches, saying, okay, well, we're not just going to go willy-nilly with our game plan. All of a sudden, we're under the pump and we've got to change. Now, there is structural change within that, but you've got to give your team confidence to go, hey, what we have done for majority of the year has held us in good stead. It beats the good teams. Trust the process, and I know everyone says that, but you do have to sell that message and you do have to sell the hope. And I'm pretty sure they'll go that way.
Well, there's reason for the Giants to be confident, of course, off the back of 7 wins in a row, and plenty of them when they were trailing at three-quarter time as well. So it's set up for a stunning second half here. In the game taking place in the NRL, the Sharks cruising past the Rabbitohs at the moment. They are 20-0 up. We're into the second half of that one. And in the Women's World Cup, Spain are through to the quarterfinals after a 5-1 win over Switzerland today, and Japan are through as well to the quarters after a 3-1 win over Norway. It's going to be a very big night in this part of Sydney in a couple nights' time. Monday evening, of course, when the Matildas take on Denmark in the round of 16 as they look to make it through to the quarterfinals. It's been an awesome couple of weeks in sport. Looking forward to that one immensely.
Is she going to play, Garb? Is she going to play?
I think she will play some part in the game, Sam Kerr. I'd be surprised again if she started. It's a tough call for Tony Gustafsson, but had a pretty big win over Canada without her, so there's reason to again just hold her back. And again, they are expected to win as big as the round of 16 clash is. So that's a big one to look out for. But it's the second half here at Giant Stadium that we cannot wait for, and it's been a shootout so far. Will we, the coach, try and slow things down a little bit and get the game on their terms, or is this just the way the game goes now and you try to beat the other team in that contest?
Sometimes I reckon you get a message at halftime. All coaches of the Swans have come out with ground balls, moving the ball around with some pressure. They all ran out and said, right, let's make sure they're up and about and ready to go. It's an interesting, the Giants are in tight having a chat. They're out getting their energy up or their mojo up and going, okay, boys, loose ball make sure you clean off the ground, get through them, and make sure you be efficient going forward. It's, they're little tactics within the game.
Well, the message would be, we've done it for a half, let's finish it off. If we can bring that same intensity, that same game plan, we can execute, we'll win the game. That's all we need to do. We've done it for a half, we can do it again. So that would be the Swans. I wouldn't expect them to change too much with what they're doing. The Giants, I'd expect them to try and move the ball a bit quicker inside 50 and to try and beat those Swans players getting back and causing that flood. Lower their eyes a bit more and try and hit those targets inside 50 so they can take advantage of those numbers.
Port Adelaide have started the third quarter superbly at Cardinia Park. They're now in the lead by a couple of points. They're 9-7-61. Geelong 9-5-59. Third quarter action coming up from Giant Stadium. Great to have your company on AFL Grandstand. Streaming on the ABC Listen app as well. Look for the AFL Extra button. It is the Swans by 18 points. Third quarter action getting underway. Here's Declan Byrne.
Briggs and Hickey. Briggs, the local Giants Academy product, taps it down, but Papley first there. Handball's over his head, it works. Mills collects. Goes inside 50 with a handball. Giants cut it off, but their kick hits Parker. So Luke Parker wastes no time. Goes inside 50. One-on-one. Hayden McLean marks. And that was a pretty poor effort from Buckley, and a few of the Swans come over to let him know about it. Heaney's in Buckley's face. And Hayden McLean marks 40 metres out on a slight angle.
You talk about work rate and getting back, and it's not common to see a one-on-one inside 50 from a stop play. There was no Giants midfielders creating, blocking that space. No third in. It was a genuine one-on-one from a slow kick.
Hayden McLean, 3 goals already tonight. Ambles in and loves it. The Swans have 12 straight goals. Hayden McLean has 4. It is 12 straight 72 to 7-6-48. It was a great one-on-one contested mark. We talk about Buddy missing and the young players standing up. Well, Armadi has kicked goals. McLean has 4.
Yeah, your call's exactly right. I mean, that's a matchup they're really concerned about now. Himmelberg started on the bench, Joel, so interesting to see when he comes on the ground where he goes, because he didn't start on the bench in the first quarter. Started down back. He started on Isaac Heaney. He's now started on the bench in the second half, and let's just see what that rotation looks like for him.
Swans lead out to 24 points, down to Poppy Penny on the boundary.
Guys, the rain has really started to come in now. It's quite heavy. I imagine the ground will get quite slippery now.
Well, that adds an extra layer of intrigue to this contest. Hayden McLean, the last time he kicked 4 goals, round 7, 2021. He's put the Swans 4 goals in front. Josh Kelly, though, wins it for the Giants in the middle of the ground. Long ball into attack. Aaron Francis has been excellent down back. Back into the side in the absence of Dane Rampey. Marks deep in his own defensive 50. Kicks it out to half back. Hickey's there. Wrestling with Briggs. Briggs over the boundary line. Now, that might be out of bounds on the full, off the shin of Lockie Whitfield, and it is. He tried to just guard the ball over the boundary line, and it bounced up, hit his shin. Free kick to the Swans on the wing.
So Ryan Clark happily accepts. Goes long. Buckley one-on-one again with McLean. McLean gets the fist. Knew he couldn't mark. Fisted it across the boundary line just to the left of the interchange bench.
What a statement he's making, Hayden McLean. So he steps up as the number 1 ruck at the Swans for about a month, and now he's gone forward with Hickey back in the side. He's kicked 4 straight.
Well, and Hickey would be happy too. He's off contract as well. So Laddam's injured. McLean doing a great roll up forward. Hickey here with the tap to the back. Parker's tackled. Ball spills free. It is slippery and messy. Rowbottom goes into work, as he often does, at the bottom of a pack. Another tackle. I think he went into this game second in tackles, trailing Rowell. And he's got another one there.
Tom Hickey slaps it down. The ruck contest on the wing. As far as Isaac coming. Tumbles it to half forward. Free kick. Given away though by the Giants. And the Swans can rebound off half back again. Braden Campbell off that raking left foot to half forward. McLean with confidence leaps. It's over his head. Briggs does well to gather it at half back. Tom Green puts a strong tackle on Luke Parker. It'll get scrappy now with the rain tumbling down. Swans try and work it away from the contest. Brent Daniels is able to gather it though, but he didn't look up when disposing of the football, and it's marked by Robbie Fox at half back.
Clean possession from Robbie Fox. His 5th touch. Spots up Mills in the centre square. His kick across the wing to Goulden hits the turf, but Goulden's quick enough to make it work. And he's so calm. He looks inside and hits up Lloyd on the edge of the centre square, who goes to the co-captain Mills. And 50 metres to Mills. Toby Green encroaching on the mark. So Callum Mills, the 2018 Brett Kirk medalist, the co-captain of the Swans, will kick for goal from just inside 50. Toby Green having some discussions with the umpire. It looked like he stood still straight away. He must have landed over the mark, and I guess the umpire was telling him to go back. It was harsh, but Mills won't care. From 49 metres, unloads long and just off to the right. The first minor score of tonight. 12-173 to 7-6-48. 4.5 gone in the third.
Well, not too many games of football you go through without a team kicking it behind. Swans finally have one. Bronx cheer. More importantly, though, they have a 25-point lead. The Giants with plenty of work to do. Lockie Ash sends it out to half-back. The Swans win it back, though. Campbell to Jake Lloyd off a standing start. Kicks to half-forward. Over the head of Rowbottom, slapped back into play by Whitfield. Gets it back from Tom Green. Then just tumbles it under pressure into the middle of the ground, and the Swans defenders are loving that at the moment. They pick it off again. Hickey to Harry Cunningham. Inside 50, punched away from Wicks by Lockie Ash. Good second effort by Wicks. The Giants at centre half-back, win it back through Tom Green. If he can pick up the football, it's like a slippery bar of soap. Eventually he does and gets it to Lockie Ash. Hogan with the leap at centre half-forward. Lauren is tackled by Toby Green. He gives him some afters. Bedford with the handball. Jesse Hogan, another one to Riccardi. He'll put through an important goal for the Giants. They won it at centre half forward through Toby Green. 3 handballs, and Riccardi was able to waltz through on goal and kick one for the Giants to peg it back to 18 points.
Yeah, it was against the run of play, really. I mean, the Swans had dominated this first 5 minutes of the first quarter as Harry Himmelberg comes on the ground and resumes as a back. They come forward pretty hard, and that's what the Giants have been doing all year. If you press on the contest and they can get through that via hands, they'll get you out the back, which happened there. So must need a goal for them after the Mills kicked that one behind.
Riccardi having his best year and his most consistent year, 11 games in a row.
Just in a replay of the Toby Green afters on the Swans defender, and if he connects, it's not pretty, put it that way.
All right, we'll watch that. Meanwhile, the Giants in the middle, another clearance for Briggs. He's had such a good season so far when he's come in. It goes inside 50 for the Giants. Daniels collects, he runs outside 50, gives a handball, but the ball slips to the ground. Mills wraps up the Giants' opposition, and he gets the free kick. Harsh on Haynes, but Mills again gets a sort of a 50-50 free kick. Goes quickly to Lloyd, who runs past him. Lloyd up to McDonald, one-on-one with Buckley, and clever from Buckley. Takes a 2-grabber, and he gets it moving quickly as well. The Giants come out the switch. Blakey, good spoil in front of Brown, but it went to a Giants teammate who handballed over the top to Callum Brown. They advance up the wing. A kick over the top to Keith. Got a slight smother on it, and it's trickled over the boundary line in the interchange bench.
Blakey pulled up sore again from that contest when he had to high-end speed to cover that defence.
Struggling Nick Blakey. His team, though, has a 19-point lead. The Swans 12-1-73. The Giants 8-6-54. Almost 8 minutes gone in the third term. Briggs wins front position on the wing. Josh Kelly sprints away from Tom Hickey and kicks to half forward. Lockie Keefe held his feet. Francis jumped in front of him. Brent Daniels can't get hands to it. A bump on Rowbottom from Tom Green isn't effective. Rowbottom is strong. Comes away from the contest with the footy. It's punched away, though, from Amati by Sam Taylor. Falls to Josh Kelly. Handball backwards to Ward, and he spots up Callum Brown. He couldn't take the mark. The rain's tumbling down. The football is slippery. And Brown dropped it. Picked up by Blakey. High ball to the wing. Ward sits underneath it with typical courage and marks on the logo.
He doesn't look good, Blakey, does he? I don't reckon he's going to last much longer out there today.
Ward from the logo, re-signed during the week for another year. His 17th in AFL football and his 12th here at the Giants. Goes to Buckley. They've gone the transition all the way to Iden, and Haynes takes a mark on the far wing. He's already kicked a goal in his 200th game, the third Giant to get there after being drafted way back. He goes long inside 50. Front spot is Hickey. Ball comes to Green. He's tackled straight away. And the umpire will blow his whistle and ball it up inside the Giants attacking 50. So the Swans lead by 19 points. 9 minutes gone in this third term. The rain has set in. Skills are down. Can the Giants squeeze a goal here? A tap down from Briggs to Lloyd. He spills it. Florent, only his 4th touch of the day. Clears the footy. The Giants have the wall set up. With him was Iden, Lloyd, and the ball goes over the boundary line. Hayward happy to see it over. So if Blakey's not working on the rebound and Florent is at... he's still at 2 touches. They're missing a lot off that half back.
Yeah, and Brown's causing him a lot of issues, so I feel like he's had to defend a hell of a lot, which is taking away his attacking prowess.
Swans by 19 points, 10 minutes gone in the third term. Cornelio wins it from the contest, down to Ash. Gets it back, does Cornelio, from Harry Perryman. It's marked just in front of the wing.
Sydney empty out their forward line as quick as they possibly can.
So Cornelio goes short to Tom Green, having an impact in his first game back from 3 out with a hamstring injury. In the midst of a wonderful season. Kicks to centre half forward, finds Lockie Ash. The Swans have flooded defensive 50, so the Giants have had to chip it, and they've found Lockie Ash effectively as a result. He'll kick from 60 out.
He actually has got a big kick if he can work the man on the mark. It might be the set play where he drops at the top of the square, but he actually can make the distance if he manipulates the man on the mark.
He's lining up for the set shot. And then he pulls the dummy, just spots it up to the top of the goal square. Kieran Briggs is a flying shot. It's off hands and through for a behind. The Giants appeal for deliberate. That won't be paid. Margin back to 18 points. The Swans are 12-1-73. The Giants are 8-7-55.
Just showing a bit of maturity here, the Giants have been able to slow the game down after that goal and Toby Green tackle, which really turned the momentum a little bit because they were under the pump that first 5 minutes. It looked like the Swans, if they kicked another goal, they could almost run away with it. But it shows the maturity of the team and why they've been in winning positions over the last 7 weeks and for the whole year, really, is they've been able to identify that there's a bit of momentum there, slow the game down and get it back on their terms.
Play has stopped. Toby Green with the blood rule, a bit of blood coming from his cheek.
Fox comes off with him.
Swans leading by 18 points, 11.5 gone. Jake Lloyd, fresh off 31 touches last week against the Bombers, and he's got 19 at the moment. Kicks out, goes long down the wing, goes over the back of the contest of 6 or 7 players there and goes out of bounds on the far wing, about 80 metres out from that Swans defensive goal.
It's one of those interesting moments in the game, I reckon. The Giants could really find themselves back really within striking distance in the next 10 minutes. It just feels like it's about to break a little bit for the Swans. They need to hang in there.
12 minutes gone, third term. Sydney lead by 18 points. Callum Mills squeezes a kick to half forward. Taylor kept his feet. Down to Himmelberg after winning the contest, Taylor against Amati. Now Tom Green spans the handball out to Nick Haynes in his 200th game. Up to half forward. Cullen Ward thought about playing on, then thought better of it. And goes short instead to Cornelio. The Giants chipping it and finding Hogan on a lead. Well, they've been calm and patient with the football rather than bombing away with the Swans with plenty of men deep inside defensive 50. And as a result, Hogan will kick from 50 out, 45-degree angle.
Now he's played on. And Himmelberg from 55 feigned the kick, pulls it to Haynes. He's not in a better position than Hogan, but Hogan must have heard the call from Himmelberg and was pressure on him quickly, so he wasn't able to shoot for goal from outside 50. Haynes on a pretty steep angle.
Reverse swing on show here.
Okay.
Watch this.
So is this
swing.
the right side for him? So he's on the left-hand forward flank, kicking with his right foot.
Can he kick 2 in his 200th?
Haynes approaches. Will kick from just inside 50. On his right. Can he get the swing working? He's bending it with his body, but not enough. And a minor score to the Giants, 8-8-56. They trail the Swans 12-1-73.
Accuracy, the difference at the moment. Jake Lloyd up to the wing. Perryman does well in the contest with Papley. He's kept Papley quiet, has Harry Perryman. Papley started the game well, but hasn't been seen much since quarter time. Perryman with the job on him, doing it effectively.
Well, as we spoke about before half-time, they had to work out how they're going to be more efficient ahead of the football. And as Joel Patfull mentioned, lowering their eyes, honouring the lead-ups. They've started this third quarter really well.
Briggs down to Tom Green. Papley gathers the football after it's spilled free. Just pops it up to the wing, and Sam Taylor leads Amadi to the football.
Nice.
And he's knocked it over the boundary line with insufficient intent to keep the ball in play, according to the umpire. So a free kick to the Swans. They are 12-1-73. The Giants 8-8-56, 14 and a half gone third quarter.
And it's not United, it's not United. Sam Tyler pinged there. Goulden receives the kick and goes into the centre square to Mills. He gets a call from Goulden, who runs past. On his left, beautiful kick, but the late spoil came from the Giants, so Hayward couldn't mark. Goulden follows up, hands off to Hickey, who rides the tackle. Gets it to Hayward, then to Florent from 49 metres. Kicks truly. 13-1-79 to 8-8-56. It wasn't pretty in there, but Goulden's 2 little kicks and 3 involvements ended up leading to a goal again. Ollie Florent having such a quiet game, but his 4 touches now look a little bit better with a goal next to his name. 15 minutes gone in the third term. Here on Grandstand AFL, your experts, Joel Patfull and Mark McVeigh.
Well, they're just finding a way, aren't they? That wasn't pretty. It was just a breakdown in play, good pressure around the ball, and a flying shot from outside 50. So, I mean, they keep continuing to score. 13 goals won, and sometimes if you can keep manufacturing goals, it's all you need to do, and they're playing great footy.
Garb, I just want to highlight Hickey. I reckon he's had a really good game. Like, he absorbed a really hard hit there, was able to get the ball off to his teammate. I reckon he's had a really good duel with Big Briggsy, but he seems to be in the right positions all over the ground tonight, and he's had a really good game.
And the man that has moved out of the ruck, Hayden McLean, has kicked 4 goals. So that change working very well for John Longmire. The Giants have plenty of work to do. Swans lead by 23. Ball in dispute in attacking 50 for the Giants. Bedford gets free, gets it to Callum Brown. He'll snap on goal and kick one that the Giants needed badly. Toby Bedford's having a game. He's making plenty happen. And the Irishman, Callum Brown, obliges after the Bedford assist. Margin back to 17 points in favour of the Swans.
Well, these are his conditions, young Irishman. He kicked 4 goals last year against the Hawks. I don't know if you remember that. Yep. In really heavy rain conditions. It brought him in as a late change because he's used to it. He's used to it in Ireland. He's very clean. He likes kicking around his body. And he can really have a big part in this game in the second half if the rain comes down, because that's his natural arc. That's his natural kick to be able to do that. And he did that with ease. It's a really good shot on goal.
Would you make the sub? Would you get Blakey? Would you take him off? He does look like he's struggling, and Callum Brown is giving him a few issues there. So he's not giving much on offense, and he's obviously letting a few through on defense as well.
McLean in the middle, taps it down. Papley almost in danger. Ward went to pick it up, and the free kick is paid against Papley to Ward, who goes quickly to Perryman in the centre circle. Delivers long, good positioning from Tom McCartan, and he plays on from the intercept mark. Gives it to Rowbottom, follows it up. He was under pressure. His kick might work for McDonald. It does for the Swans, and they move it out through the wing. They're on the logo. Parker on his left inside 50. 3 players run towards it. First there is Iden. He can't pick it up but taps it forward. It'll work for the Giants. Himmelberg and Perryman combine. Himmelberg gets it back to Whitfield, to Kelly, slips over, and a great tackle on him. And that Giants turf, again, it's still slippery, and Whitfield looks down at a big divot. Florent, great tackle though, and we'll have a ball up on, next to the interchange bench on centre wing.
Ball up, McLean taps it down with a bit of artistry to Rowbottom. Handball backwards to Braden Campbell, snaps on his left to half forward. Buckley gathers. Ward's under pressure. Quick one to Himmelberg. Giants are at half back, and the Swans pick it off. Isaac Heaney, that's a high hit on Ward.
He wasn't going to pay that, the umpire. I reckon it was because Heaney pretty much said, I know I've given away a free kick.
He took his time, the umpire. Yeah. It was as clear as the Sydney skyline tonight, despite the rain, that is. And Ward's got the free kick at half back. Game 289 for the Giants Warrior. There's Blakey leaping, punching it away from the pack at the wing, but the Giants are at the fall of the football. Rowe played against Lockie Whitfield.
Nick Blake.
Rowbottom, who's been super impressive, can send it back into attack for the Swans.
Spoiling to the middle of the ground, that's a massive no-no.
Another great tackle from Rowbottom leads to an inside 50. Spoil again from the back from Buckley. Ball's in dispute. Wicks runs straight through. Spills to Heaney. He has a flying shot on goal. It's smothered. Comes to Ryan Clark. Short kick to Goulden. Can't be 15, but the umpire's paid it.
I mean, 15 in the air, maybe.
Definitely did, but Goulden was almost... You know when you see the ground, you can see the mowing. I think they're 10 metres. It maybe just made that one mowing length.
Very good.
And Goulden will line up for goal from about 40 metres out.
This goes straight through, doesn't it? The way this bloke's kicking the ball at the moment, he's just confident. Beautiful left foot kick. So really good technique.
Goulden's had 6 30-plus games this year. He's only had one before this year in his whole career. He's having a career year. Can't convert there. Pulls it. A minor score for the Swans, 13-2-80. Plays 9-8-62. 20 minutes gone.
Joel, who does it suit? The rain's coming down. Who does it suit the most? So the Swans be rubbing their hands together going, yes, we need this sort of game. Just grind it out.
I think it suits the Swans tonight. The gameplay they're playing tonight, it really suits them. The way they're, controlling that inside 50s and getting players back. They're not allowing that free-flowing play from the Giants, and that's what they've been doing the last few weeks. So I think it definitely suits the Swans, as it does continue to get heavier, doesn't it?
Critical time in this contest. Swans by 18 points, 20 minutes gone in the third quarter. Giants under pressure, but Ward does well inside defensive 50 to spin away from the tackle and send it up to the wing. But Robbie Fox has been superb on Toby Green, and he leaps over the Giants captain and punches it over the boundary line. Green has kicked the one goal, but by his very high standards, hasn't had much of an influence on the contest. Boundary throw in. McLean with 4 goals to his name as front position. Neither ruckman gets a hand on it. And then Connor Ryden is wrapped up by Isaac Heaney, who's been tough in the clinches as well. Ball up on the logo, and the Swans won't mind this. 21 minutes gone in the third term with an 18-point lead.
Briggs with a huge spike in the ruck. It's gone the wrong way, though, for him. So the Swans are in attack. Ball in dispute. Spills out from Green's hands. Second crack at it. Rowbottom gets a kick. It only goes 10 metres to Bedford. Kicks it quickly. They've got even contest ahead, the Giants. Lockie Keefe keeps his feet, but Francis was there again. And he handballs in the Fox direction. Blakey picks it up. Looks lame. Handballs to Fox, who gives it to Campbell. He was slung in the tackle. Didn't get correct disposal. And Callum Brown with the free kick. He's 80 metres out from goal. Callum Brown for the Giants.
Callum Brown's going to have a big say in this game, I reckon.
Waits, delivers to the hot spot. Can they find a mark? Flying was Riccardi at the back. Spilled the grab, and the ball goes over the boundary line in the right forward pocket. It is teeming down here at Giants Stadium. Swans leading by 18 points, 22 minutes gone.
Well, they don't look dangerous inside 50 with those long kicks, do they, Spike? No. They continue to do it, but there's no one there as a target. And funny you mentioned the conditions. You mentioned that the Swans players with ground balls, getting over the footy, and
free
really
kick,
concentrating on that.
Free kick to the Giants.
Toby Green.
It's going to Toby Green. Directly in front, held without it. And with the rain teeming down, he has the chance to peg the margin back to a clean 2 goals. This is a much-needed one for GWS and their skipper.
Getting nasty out there now.
The rain is coming down hard. The fans are moving to the back of the stands. But Toby Green has the football in his hands, and when that's the case, everyone stops and watches. And watches him convert. All of a sudden, it's a 2-goal ball game, and Toby has 2. And the Giants may not be doing it with the orange tsunami, but slowly but surely they're just pegging this margin back.
Well, they're going to have to find another way to win tonight. I don't think the orange tsunami is going to get it done with these conditions, and it looks like this is here for a while. So, I mean, they're the goals you need. A stoppage situation, Toby Green finds a way to pull a free kick away out of it and gets the goal. But, you know, it's going to be a tough one from here. I was saying before, the Swans at half-time, they were all very conscious of the conditions, getting down, doing ground balls, tackling, and I think they knew what they were in for the second half, so they're ready to go.
Toby Green, 51 goals in 2023, takes him to 3rd in the Coleman. A smoky for All-Australian captain. What do we think?
Well, he's more than a smoky.
Massive chance.
Which would be a huge coming of age. We're back in the middle. Hickey taps it down, but Briggs was smart to it. His kick is higher than it is longer. It goes out towards the wing, spoiled in wet conditions by Rowbottom. Coming through, a couple of players collided, and we'll have a ball up on the edge of the centre square, just in Giants attacking territory. Briggs gets rid of Hickey. Ball hits the deck though. He kicks it off the ground. Gets it moving forward 10 or so metres. It's going to be like this. It's teeming rain here in the Giants Stadium. A quick kick out of the contest, and Briggs was smart to it. He's off the back of the contest with a mark.
Briggs marks, plays on quickly, kick into the pocket. It evades Green and Fox. One bounce over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in left forward pocket for the Giants.
It'll be interesting to see what the Giants do with this weather, with the game that they play. Will they play all their forwards up as high as they possibly can, get the ball in behind the last line defence of the Swans and run onto it with their sheer speed?
Rowbottom's been excellent. Wins it off the ruck contest, squeezes the kick forward. Kelly picks it up though. Another chance for the Giants to go inside 50. Isaac coming on his left, looks for Lockie Keefe off his hands. Will it sit up for Hogan in the pocket? It doesn't. Blakey just throws the ball on his boot. In dispute at centre half back for the Giants. Callan Ward kicks Sam Wicks instead of the football. It bounces the way of Daniel Lloyd. Backwards to Himmelberg. He can spot up something he likes, and he hits up. Hogan couldn't mark it on the third attempt. Giants putting the Swans under pressure though. Bedford gathers it. He's been brilliant. Looks for Hogan. Swans trying to scrap it away. Tom Green stands up in a tackle. Gets a handball out to Josh Kelly. Flying kick on the left. Misses to the near side. And the Swans survive that onslaught from the Giants. Margin back to 11 points in Sydney's favour.
Blakey's on the kick-out duty. He had a kick before, which you mentioned, a barrel. Grabbed sort of that left butt cheek again. He's in trouble, but they're keeping him out there. And as I said, he's got the footy in the goal square. Feigns right, now looks left. Got a player next to him. He's handballed it to Fox under pressure in the goal square. Has to kick it. It's a rush kick, and Parker for the Swans does exactly what Robbie Fox was hoping for and marks that hopeful kick just outside the defensive 50. Parker goes up the wing. Florent marks.
Keep doing this. They don't need to go too quick. If they can just get territory by marching this ball along the boundary.
And that's what Florent does. Big pack of 6 players. No mark. Comes to the front. Taylor grabs it. Handball's wide. Tackled by Cunningham. Ball spills free. No free kick, and the umpire plays it on, and there's a kick out of congestion to Parker, who marks.
Finds Goulden. He rarely misses a target. Hits up Rowbottom on the wing. Parker, Goulden, Rowbottom all in possession in this passage of play, and they've been 3 of the Swans' best, along with Hayden McLean, who has 4 goals up forward. Robbie Fox doing a job on Toby Green as well. Can the Swans get one against the run of play? It's inside their attacking 50. McDonald gathers it. Quick handball to Hayden McLean. Missing the target was Warner. It's scrappy now. Callan Ward with a strong tackle inside defensive 50. But the margin's only 11 points in favour of the Swans, down to the boundary and Poppy Penny.
The Giants have gone with their sub. They've subbed off Jake Riccardi, and Ryan Angwin is set to come into the game. And just very quickly, Dylan Stevens went down to the rooms to grab another pair of boots with the weather coming in.
Oh, he's gone the long sprigs.
They haven't existed.
I was going to say, do you pack them?
So clearly they've made the sub early because of the weather. The Giants, Riccardi out and Angwin in.
And Riccardi was having not much influence. So Angwin's an interesting one. He's a winger, so it'll be interesting to see what he does. Can he go to half back? Can he release Harry Himmelberg? Does he go to the wing?
Do they push Haynes forward maybe to add to his tally of 1 goal in his 200th? We're in the Swans attacking 50. Overrunning it was Warner. Kick out of congestion is going to go out in the full from Tom Green. So the Swans will get it about 80 metres out on the far wing. Florent, who's had a quiet night but kicked a goal before. Every goal is crucial, and they've kicked 13-2 tonight. So it's looking good for the Swans if they can hold on in the wet. Florent deep inside 50. McLean can't mark. Lockie Keefe kicks it out of midair. It's spoiled. Flying kick on goal. Lloyd, the quarterback, saves the day on the goal line, and he goes long outside 50.
Tracking it is Florent. Coming in for support is Robbie Fox. Quick handball to Goulden. Blakey couldn't mark. Bedford put some body work on him. Ball in dispute on the outer side. Lockie Keefe stands up in the tackle. Gets the handball free. Fox comes out to meet it though. Cunningham's there, as is Chad Warner. And Warner's won the free kick. So when the Swans are under pressure. Leading by 11 points. 28 and a half gone.
I don't think Blakey can continue, Garb. It's just...
He's trying to persevere. Warner's kick deep into a tackle off hands. It sits up for Mills. Well smothered. His kick by Daniel Lloyd. Iden's under pressure. Finds Cunningham in the left back pocket. Cumming will just throw it on the boot. Off hands. Boundary throw in. Just outside attacking 50 for the Swans. They are 13-2-80. The Giants 10-9-69.
I think he's going to have to hang in there. I think the Swans are going to try and follow suit as the Giants have. I think they want to try and get one of their tools off and get a smaller player in. They've still got the 3 tools up forward.
It is pouring here at Giants Stadium. Swans lead at the back end of the third quarter here. Ball spills out of the contest. Florent didn't have possession. Might have been tackled. Umpire says play on. Giants can break here through Kelly, who runs through the centre square. Scrubby old kick forward. Couple of players slip over. Brown in a one-on-one holds his feet. So does McCartan. They both go hammer and tong at it. Ball spills free. Umpires keep the whistle away. The crowd didn't agree. And Whitfield and McDonald wrap each other up. And the umpire comes over. Will ball it up on the wing. 75 metres out from the Giants' goal. Hickey and Briggs arrive late. Hickey, clever tap to Warner. Breaks one tackle. Hands. Hear the footsteps behind him. Cornelio holding the ball, gets the free kick. That is beautiful from Stephen Cornelio and Parker.
The Giants are fighting. 30 minutes gone, third quarter. Can they get another one before the three-quarter time siren? Swans lead by 11 points. Big pack converges on the logo of attacking 50 for the Giants. Socket off the ground by Daniels. Looks for the handball back from Bedford. Bedford gathers it. Quick handball inside to Daniels. Blakey just throws it on the boot out to a contest. Cornelio keeps his feet and then emerges with the football and finds Callum Brown at half forward. Distance.
He's got this in him.
It's not too much of an issue for him. Three-quarter time siren goes. Callum Brown, it's a wet football, but he can send it a mile. An Irish country mile, perhaps.
Yeah, he's definitely got this in him. He's a big enough kick.
Wouldn't this get the crowd inside Giants Stadium going? Plenty of Sydney supporters in attendance as well. But the home side are surging like they have for the last 2 months. Callum Brown, close to the boundary line from 55 out, strikes it nicely. Distance isn't too much of an issue. The Swans players are on the line to ensure it doesn't go through for a behind either. So they will preserve the Sydney Swans, their 11-point lead at three-quarter time. They are 13-2-80. The Giants are 10-9-69, but the margin was 18 points at halftime. So GWS, as they have done for a large part of the season, are coming yet again.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting last quarter. You asked me halfway through the quarter who the conditions suited. I said the Swans, but thinking about it more, I think it might be the Giants. The Swans have been able to score their goals through their tall forwards and taking marks inside 50. So that changes now with this rain, and they're going to have to find other ways to kick goals, to kick a winning score. They're still going to have to kick a few goals here to get over the line. The Giants have made the sub, brought in the smaller player, the running player, and will use him to try and get that ball forward and not rely on their tall forwards to kick goals. So it'll be interesting how they play. Obviously Blakey's struggling with a bit of an injury. He's probably the obvious one, but they probably do need to take a tool off and reassess.
I reckon the Swans showed their hand with what they're going to do to handle the fast breakaway. Josh Kelly, they were able to break through their first line of defence. Josh Kelly broke into through the middle of the ground where they're so quick on transition. When he looked up, the Swans had an extra deep in their 50. So they're not shallow, they're deep because they know they're going to go to territory and the board's going to slide. So they had to pull it across his body. I reckon the Swans, it's going to be so important for them, obviously to still score, but how are they going to stop this surge? Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to go as hard as they possibly can. They're going to get their forwards up really quick. Daniels looks dangerous. Bedford looks really dangerous when he's got the ball on ground. Callum Brown is really quick when the ball hits the ground. So they need some protection. They need some insurance, a catcher that sits back there and says, hey, if you're going to break through us, you're going to have to chain all the way and have a shot on goal. You can't just blaze away.
Joel Patfull and Mark McVeigh, your experts on ABC Grandstand. Goal kickers for the Swans. Hayden McLean with 4, Isaac Heaney with 2. 2 as well for Joel Amati. Singles to Goulden, Wicks, Florent, Papley and Hayward. And for the Giants, it is Toby Green who has 2, along with Jesse Hogan and Callum Brown. And singles to Daniel Lloyd, Jake Riccardi, Nick Haynes in his 200th and Toby Bedford.
Stevens, jacket off, Scarb.
Sub going to be made by the Swans. Plenty of action coming your way in the last quarter from Giant Stadium on ABC Grandstand.
What's your favourite Aussie animal sound? Are you mad for magpies? Keen on the koala? Do you like to wallow in whale song? Or maybe you're team tree frog? How about whatever it is that lyrebirds do when they're actually being lyrebirds? To celebrate National Science Week, the ABC is looking and listening for Australia's favourite animal noise. Find out more at abc.net.au/sounds.
Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Mills collects. Giants cut it off, but their kick hits Parker. So Luke Parker wastes no time, goes inside 50, 1-on-1. Hayden McLean marks. 3 goals already tonight. Ambles in and loves it.
The Giants at centre half-back, winner back through Tom Green. If he can pick up the football, it's like a slippery bar of soap. Eventually he does and gets it to Lockie Ash. Hogan with the leap at centre half forward. Lauren is tackled by Toby Green. He gives him some afters. Bedford with the handball. Jesse Hogan, another one to Riccardi. He'll put through an important goal for the Giants.
Mills. He gets a call from Goulden, who runs past. On his left, beautiful kick, but the late spoil came from the Giants, so Hayward couldn't mark. Goulden follows up, hands off to Hickey, who rides the tackle. Gets it to Hayward, then to Florent from 49 metres. Kicks truly.
Free kick to the Giants.
Toby Green.
It's going to Toby Green. Directly in front, held without it. This is a much needed one for GWS and their skipper.
Getting nasty out there now.
The rain is coming down hard. The fans are moving to the back of the stands. But Toby Green has the football in his hands. And when that's the case, everyone stops and watches him convert. All of a sudden, it's a 2-goal ball game.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
It's the Swans with an 11-point lead at three-quarter time. They are 13-80. The Giants are 10-9-69. It's set up for a stunning last term here at Giant Stadium. You wouldn't expect anything less when you look at the form lines of these two sides. And there's a thriller on the way at Cardinia Park as well. Port Adelaide are 11-11-77, leading Geelong, who are 11-9-75 by just the 2 points. Not often the Cats drop 2 in a row at Cardinia Park. They lost to the Dockers there last week. The Power looking to respond after their loss in the showdown. We'll keep you abreast of those scores, but there is plenty in store in the last quarter here, including a sub made by the Swans, Poppy Penny.
Yeah, that's right. Just trying to work out who has been subbed off, but Dylan Stevens has been subbed into the game. Nick Blakey is sat down at the front of the bench, so it doesn't look like it's him who has been subbed off from this game.
We'll wait and see just what the Swans have done, but no surprise with the rain coming down.
McDonald? So it's a tactical, is it?
It might be Logan McDonald because the Giants have taken Riccardi out and put Ryan Angwin on. You don't need the extra big man, I guess, in these conditions.
Yeah.
To give people an idea of how wet it is, you can usually recognise Chad Warner by his blonde hair. That is brown. It is still pouring here at Giant Stadium, so that 11-point lead could come in handy. Swans did lead by 24 in that game earlier on this year in that final quarter, so Giants will know they can do it.
GWS have come back from behind 5 times this season at three-quarter time. Can they make it 6? Swans lead by 11 points. Final term underway. Sockered forward to centre half forward for the Giants. Cunningham leads Daniels to the football. Bedford gets hands to it. Hasn't he been impressive tonight, Toby Bedford? A string of tackles and goal assists as well inside 50. And a player like him looms large in this final term in the wet conditions.
Ball's bounced just outside the 50. Tap down favours Ward. He's hassled out of it by Goulden, so the ball spills free. Goulden is free again on the wing, gets the footy. Rush kick forward, but I think we're going to see a bit of that. It's ugly, but it gains 40 metres. Armadi has a paddle across the boundary line. Giants appeal for a free kick. They will have a ball in on the wing.
Stevens' VFL form has been outstanding, averaging about 28 to 30 possessions a game, playing predominantly in the midfield, lines up on the wing tonight.
Played 15 games last year, only the 9 in 2023, so I'm sure he'll want to impress in this last quarter. Tom Green gets it off the contest. His handball misses. Ball goes forward for the Swans, but waiting was Briggs. His left foot goes about 10 metres along the ground. Haynes can't pick it up. Cornelio, clean hands. Umpire's found a free kick. And it's the umpire, I think, from
400 metres away.
To be precise, 400.
Sorry.
No, that's actually correct. They've done the math. So Swans with the free kick. Goulden goes inside 50. Clean hands from Briggs, who takes the intercept mark for the Giants.
And they play on quickly to Nick Haynes in the back pocket. Guides it up to right half back and finds Callan Ward. Swans back deep in defence. They have done for most of this game, trying to stem the Giants' run. Ward's kick up the wing is thumped away from Toby Bedford by Robbie Fox.
He's been really good, hasn't he? He's been exceptional.
Is the school teacher Robbie Fox? Has he given Toby Green a lesson tonight? Perhaps not to that extent. Toby Green's still with a couple, but he's done a very good job on one of the most dangerous in the competition.
Ball brought back into play. Hickey over the back. A clever tap maybe in dry conditions. Didn't suit the wet. Papley couldn't pick it up. Haynes and Cornelio got a hold of him quickly. Ball's thrown up on the logo again. Briggs with the tap. Favours Lloyd v Bedford. Bedford does well to hassle him out of it. Gets the tap. Cleverly, he almost gets it back as well, but Warner intercepts. Giants get the footy though off him. Go inside 50. McCartan, second grab, tries the mark in front of Hogan. Can't take it. Hogan gets the footy. Goes inside Giants 50 on the ground. Umpires want a free kick for a push. It's kicked to the goal square. Angwin's there for the Giants. The sub is on. Can he get a goal? He can't. Ball comes back to Daniels. Brett Daniels snaps. Good smother. Coming through hard. The Giants again. Robbie Fox gets an important touch and the ball will come to rest 15 metres out from the Giants' goal.
Excellent smother from Dylan Stevens just as Daniels was about to snap true from directly in front. Stevens, the sub, got hands across the boot. Ball up deep in attack for the Giants. Socket off the ground by Brent Daniels, just across the face and through for a behind. They are throwing everything at Sydney right now, the Giants. Margin back to 10 points in favour of Sydney, and other Swans just starting to tire a little bit, which is something you pointed out. Mark McVeigh, well, they've turned it over and they made a horrible mistake. And Toby Bedford will kick from a 45-degree angle, 45 metres out to bring the margin back to within a goal.
Well, they're just hanging on, I think, at the moment. The thing that's standing out for me is the smalls for the Giants. It's Bedford who's having a shot on goal. It's Daniels. Okay, Toby Green potentially. They're the ones that are going to get them back in the game just because they're so dangerous in these conditions. I'm not sure how many of the Swans players can do that apart from Papley when it goes forward.
The kick from Lloyd was intended for Warner. Warner had his back turned. Bedford was able to mark as a result, but it slid off the side of his boot. With the wet football, it's a shank. It's out of bounds on the full. Sydney 13-280 preserve their 10-point lead over the Giants, who are 10-10-70.
Let's just keep that point in mind too. Any score come the end of the game might be important. Up the line goes Fox. Armadi lays a tackle. Ball comes free and inside 50 for the Giants. Again, Robbie Fox was really hassling Toby Green, who couldn't collect it. Kick comes free and Warner marks about 40 metres out from his own goal and just settles down the play. Although he did the settle down
that's the kick.
And then kicked it in the centre of the ground and found Goulden on the edge of the 50. They love it in his hands. On his left, goes wide. Florent has got a bit of room on his man. Angwin takes the mark, goes inside 50. It's not a wet weather kick. Favours the Giants. And the handball from, I think it was Perryman down there, tried to find... No, Perryman was on the receiving end. And the ball went out of bounds on the edge of the 50 for the Swans.
They have to resist the shallow entries, the Swans. They can't kick shallow and let them potentially rebound off the back of it. They've got to go deep.
Swans by 10 points. 5.5 gone in the last quarter. Strong tackle on Campbell by Angwin. Florent gathers it on the wing. Knocked down by Cornelio. Good second effort on Francis. Causes the turnover. Now the Giants can go. Brent Daniels to Lockie Ash. Has Hogan on a lead. He marks it centre half forward. Gives it back to Ash. Guides it inside 50. Looking for Toby Green. Fox is there with him again. Jake Lloyd's been hit high and hasn't moved. He'll win a free kick. Brent Daniels collected Lloyd high and he is slow to get to his feet. And now the Swans come in to remonstrate. Toby Green stands up for Daniels. And now Lloyd, thankfully, is okay. He might need a concussion check, but he'll take the free kick inside his own defensive 50.
He just ran the wrong way, knowing he got the free kick, but ran forward. So the doctors might have a look at that, especially this week. He takes his kick anyway, goes up the wing. Buckley, another good spoil from behind. Cornelio on the ground. Goes by foot, tries to pick it up by hand, but well tackled by Warner over the boundary line to the left of the interchange bench.
Lloyd has come to the bench. In fact, well, he made his way halfway to the bench and now he's gone back.
So Swans lead by 10 points. 6.5 minutes gone here in a game that will shape finals. Giants are 5 from 8 this year of games under 12. Can they do it again? Rowbottom with the clearance inside the centre square. Heaney was blocked out by Himmelberg. Gets the free kick. Umpire pays advantage. Papley slips over. Goes inside 50. Diving mark from Hayward. Nearly ruined it there, Papley, with playing on. But luckily enough, no one was too close to him. So he slipped over, got back up, screwed a kick round on his body, around his body, and Hayward marks 40 metres out. Will kick for goal to extend the Swans' lead to 16 points.
These are the ones that Will Hayward has to kick. He has a few issues with these ones. Really important goal for the Swans. This is almost in these conditions at the moment, a 2-goal kick, isn't it? Really.
So Hayward kicked 3 in the derby earlier on this year. He's at that 132 game level. He's about a goal a game. Can he make it 2 though tonight? Pushes it across the face for a minor. Disappointing there. The Swans 13-3, 81. The Giants 10-10, 7.5 minutes gone in the fourth.
Well, you said it, Spike. It's who can handle these conditions and finish. You saw Papley there was clean, got the ball inside 50 and hit a target. It's that now finishing off. You got Toby Bedford at the other end, Will Hayward at this end, not being able to finish off. It's going to come down to that as the game goes on.
Accuracy hasn't been an issue for the Swans, though. They are 13-3, 81. The Giants 10-10, 70. Long ball to the outer side. Bounces over the pack. And Harry Cunningham is tackled by Brent Daniels. Boundary throw in on the outer side. Strong crowd in here at Giants Stadium. They've dispersed to the back of the stands because of the rain, but this is the healthiest crowd this season inside this ground by a long, long way. Why wouldn't it be? Giants have won 7 in a row. Will that run come to an end tonight? By the Swans, who are looking for their 4th victory on the trot. Punched away on the wing to Jesse Hogan for GWS. Looks for Daniel Lloyd, but Jake Lloyd has recovered his namesake from that head knock and marked it at halfback for Sydney.
Amazing he's still out there. He was definitely holding his head. You'd think this week they'd take extra precaution, but he's still out there. I'm sure he's being assessed with the vision, and his kick up the line to a big pack of players, eventually fisted over the boundary line on centre wing. Heaney slow to get up. He popped a knee in that contest. 11 points the margin. Are we set for another classic? Toby Green the difference in the first derby. Will he be the difference again? Hickey the tap back. Stevens the clearance. Iden with the fist. Still on centre wing here. Ward picks up the loose footy. He hands it off to Ash, who can't cleanly pick it up. Skill error there for the Giants. Gives it to the Swans. Rowbottom spins out a 1 tackle. On his right foot, edge of the 50. Amadi spills the mark. Almost could have been paid. Still in dispute. He might get it back here, but kicking out of congestion, I think, is Perryman. Umpire has paid. Deliberate. Swans get the free kick on the far wing.
It's a tough call, isn't it, that one?
In the wet, they usually calm down on them, don't they?
Dylan Stevens, the recipient. Doesn't quite connect with the way he would have liked. It's punched away from Amati by Buckley. Can the Giants rebound now? Cornelio with the handball wide to Haynes, gets it back on the wing. He was going to be met by a tackler, so he spikes it forward. Cornelio to Daniel Lloyd, kick inside 50. Hogan gets front position on McCartan, guides it down. McCartan is there though. He was cool under pressure, as is Jake Lloyd. Handball into Cunningham. Defensive 50, the Swans spread from and go up to the wing. Heaney up against Himmelberg. Himmelberg punches it away from Heaney and Haynes is able to gather. Himmelberg with the handball to Tom Green, keeps his feet. He's been excellent, so strong. And now they can guide it up to Perryman on the wing. The Giants keep on coming.
Perryman, 2 kicks from home, goes short to Green, who marks 75 metres out but plays on. Gets to 50, unloads. This is a shot for goal for Toby Green. It is. Pushes it far side, another behind. 10 points again, the margin. 13-3, 81, 10-11, 71. 11 minutes gone in the last.
Swans alarm bells going everywhere, I reckon, in the coach's box. They are hanging on. They're not threatening forward of the footy at all at the moment. They're just kicking long down the line. This is exactly what the Giants want. As soon as this goes long down the line, they'll get numbers over there and try and go back through you.
Blakey playing under duress, sends it up to the wing. Well done by Mills to spike it away from Ward. The Giants had the chance to win it back. Buckley didn't get hands on the football, so Mills just soccers it to half forward. Wicks gets in front of Lockie Ash, guides it towards the boundary line. That has to be deliberate if the other one was. And that's somehow a boundary throw-in. Well, how is that not insufficient intent? Just because you're in attack doesn't mean that you were trying to keep the ball in play. The Swans with a fortunate decision there. They lead by 10 points, 13-3, 81. The Giants 10-11, 71. 11 and a half gone in the last quarter.
Ball spun back into play. Briggs with the tap. Comes to Goulden. Doesn't have enough room to effect a kick. Comes out of the 50. Stevens was there. Dropped the mark. Kicks it out. Goulden picks it up on his left. Can he do anything wrong? Errol Goulden. It is a wet night. It is a heavy football. And he finishes from 45 for his second goal of the night. The class players stand up in the wet. And the Swans go out to a 16-point lead. It's 14-3, 87, 10-11, 71. And did Jake Lloyd just run off?
He did. Go down to Poppy on the boundary.
Yeah, Jake Lloyd, the physio and the doctor kind of followed him around the field for a couple of minutes. They're asking him to come off, and he basically ran away from them. He's now going down into the rooms with the doctor, and you can kind of guess that might be for a bit of an HIA assessment after that head knock earlier in the quarter.
His night might be done, but let's just spend a moment to talk about the gem that is Errol Goulden.
Well, I think we highlight his skill. One thing I've noticed watching him, he's turning up to every contest. He goes back, he goes forward, he goes into the middle. He continues to run and he keeps putting pressure on the opposition. He tests them out all the time.
And he's a match winner, and he's doing that for the Swans at the moment. And he wins another clearance. Bouncing ball into attack for Sydney. Mills, the handball to Clark. This might just seal it. It's a shank, though, off the side of the boot, out of bounds on the full. 16 points, the margin. That might not sound like a lot, but in wet conditions, if Clark had converted that one, that might just have been it. Swans 14-3, 87. GWS 10-11, 71. He's so tough, Joel Paffel, isn't he, Errol Goulden, for a young player with so much skill?
You're right. He's in and under, but then he's so skillful as well on the outside. So he's doing everything at the moment. You see in these slippery conditions, one hand, one step, kicks the goal from 45.
Warner has the footy, looks across to the top of the 50, and Stevens takes a good contested mark. Haynes comes late and pushes him to ground, and the Sydney fans want the free kick.
Worst result here is a long point. You know, as a coach, you sit back and go, you don't want a long point here and give the ball back to him.
What do you do?
Well, I think if you
so common, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real difficult one.
Dylan Stevens uses the angle he's afforded from 55 metres on his left. Distance not an issue. Is that a huge goal in the context of this game and the season for the Swans and the Giants? We'll go upstairs. It was touched in and around that line.
Swans are celebrating, and now they've just broken from a huddle.
And the soft call is touched, I believe.
Yep.
Taylor down there.
Is it before the line?
Well, that is the question. We'll go to the arc.
Yeah.
He's got it.
And it's just nicked his fingertips.
Long point.
Long point. So a minor score for the Swans. 14-4, 88, 10-11, 71. They lead by 17.
Well, it's a big point, isn't it? It's a goal there, and it's a long way home from the Giants, so it's a very crucial touch from Sammy Taylor.
Watch the Giants go here. They're going to have to go with speed, and it could be long down the middle.
Yep. 15-minute mark of the last term. Harry Himmelberg brings the ball into play with a long kick up to the wing in wet weather conditions. The Giants need a response. Whitfield with a handball up to Daniel Lloyd. Looks to give it back to Whitfield, but they've turned it over on the wing. Goulden looked for Francis, bounced off him. Cunningham snaps it to half forward. It's off hands, and therefore out for a boundary throw in. Sydney are 14-4-88. The Giants 10-11-71. GWS's 7-game winning streak, a club record, under severe threat by the Swans, their rivals, who are looking for 4 in a row.
Giants need a goal. We're in neutral territory here on the wing. Keefe and McLean do battle. It's a tap to the front. The ball skids through over the boundary line again.
I thought Briggs in the first sort of 10 minutes of this quarter or 15 minutes has looked the better ruckman. He's off the ground at the moment. So the Swans need to make the most of this with McLean, because he does look like the better ruckman at the moment when he's on the ground.
Mills is having a great last quarter for the Swans. He's up to 27. Florent, the receiver here, though, who has a bit of time and space, wanders through the middle of the contest, goes long, slipping over is Parker. Buckley with the spoil. Tom Green was waiting for it, although it's slapped out of his hands. Comes to Parker inside 50 for the Swans. Hands it to Hayward, to Clark. Kick smothered from Rowbottom. Giants collect and they go outside 50.
Stevens punches it back into attacking 50 though. Rowbottom to Gordon. Don't tell me he's going to kick another one. Gordon on the snap from 45 out. It's through for a behind. Well, he's made this football game his own, Errol Goulden, like he has to so many this season. He is set to be one of the biggest names in the competition if he isn't already.
28 touches and 2 goals.
Well on his way to a first All-Australian Blazer, and you dare say the Swans best and fairest as well, but Sydney might just have bigger goals in their sights. Finals well and truly back on for them if they can hang on here.
Himmelberg looking for territory, goes down that far wing again, and it's spoiled by Hogan, who knew he couldn't mark, so brings it down. The ball's over the boundary line, still in that Swans attacking half.
If you compare both subs, Stevens has had a real impact, hasn't he? He's really had an impact. Angwin hardly touched the footy. Stevens really got involved very early.
Keefe doing the ruck work for the Giants, gets the tap, comes back to him. High handball, not good for Josh Kelly, who had to work for it. Keefe follows up that mistake with another mistake, and Errol Goulden is in everything. Cops the high tackle from Keefe. Swans have the free kick. They're 2 good kicks from home. Goulden's a great kick, though. I don't think he's that great. So he goes inside 50. McLean and Armadi rise. It falls over the back. Buckley there for the Giants. Goes by hands to Iden. Nearly spills it. Perryman does. Ball's in dispute. First there is Hayward in the pocket. He's pushed over the boundary line by Cumming. That was close. Yeah. Messing around with it 5 metres out on a wet night is not what Adam Kingsley would want to see.
This is where the Swans need to set up the ground really strong. They need to own the ground, live in the front half for the next 3 to 4 minutes, suck some time, own the ground, shots on goal, grind the win.
18 and a half gone in the last term. Sydney by 18 points. Another goal here might just seal it. Tom Green's handball went through the hands of Goulden, who was looking to shark it. Isaac Cumming just pops it over the top of the Swans defender at half-back. Hogan gathers it on the wing for the Giants. They need a response here. Kick to half-forward. Callum Brown will make a contest. Aaron Francis held front position, though, and he's more than happy for the ball to go over the boundary line. 19 minutes gone in the last. The Swans are 14-5-89. The Giants are 10-11-71.
He's been good, Francis, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Positioned well, strong in the contest, did what he had to do then, and he's really been valuable for the Swans down fence.
Came in for Rampy and has been excellent down back. Josh Kelly couldn't get full purchase on the soccer attempts, and that's a good tackle from Heaney. He has done plenty of deady work tonight on Isaac Cumming. Warner went tumbling, perhaps tried to make the most of some contact. It's scrappy after a shootout and some blistering football in the first half. Swans holding an 18-point lead, 19 gone in the last quarter.
Giants need a goal here. They get a free kick. Ward takes advantage and goes long to the Brown direction. Gets good position but can't take the grab. Spills it. Heaney can't pick it up, so it falls to Lloyd, to Ward on his right. The Giants need a goal and they get one through their inaugural captain, Callan Ward. the club games record holder. He re-signed during the week and he's kept the Giants in it. 11-11-77. They trail by 2 goals. The Swans 14-5-89. 20 minutes gone in the last.
Massive fumble by Isaac Heaney there. One of their better players. Just didn't see it out. Fumbled the ball. Just overran it. And it's those little moments and those little mistakes that you make that they can jump on, especially in these conditions. So it's all for the Giants here. You watch them go hard here. The Giants are going to go at them 100 miles an hour. How long to go? Probably about 7.5 minutes to go.
Well, it's a big goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
If they could hold them off for 2 minutes there, the game goes another way.
Yeah.
You can kind of put it to bed. You can waste a bit of time. That goal gets them right back in, and they got another sniff.
Big crowd in attendance, 19,332. And these Giants do not stop believing.
Briggs back in the ruck is massive for them.
Swans by a clean 2 goals. Ball up, middle of the ground. Briggs just slaps it forward. Bouncing ball, picked up by Stephen Cornelio. He gets to centre half forward, spots up Toby Green. He puts the hand up and says, stop, I'll take the shot on goal. And the Giants skipper from 30 out directly in front can peg this back to 1 major.
Briggs dominating. Briggs is the one. Getting his hand on the footy, slapping it forward, giving it an opportunity.
Geelong have beaten Port Adelaide by 12 points at Cardinia Park, 14-13-97 to 12-13-85. Can Toby Green bring this back to 1 clean goal? Oh, yes, he can. On a quiet night for Toby Green, all of a sudden he has 3. And he stands up in the big moments yet again. Set up by Cornelio, converted by Green. It is 1 goal the margin at Giants Stadium deep in the last.
Well, it's amazing how he finds himself in the right position week after week. They needed the goal, they need something to happen, and he's there. But you're right, Spike. Kieran Briggs in the middle, got the ball going forward. In these kind of conditions, it's as good as a clean possession. It's as good as a kick. Cornelio running through the middle. It could have blazed away. It looked like he was almost going to have a shot from 50. Lowered the eyes and found the target inside 50. So before you know it, it was looking... A minute ago, it looked like the Swans, if they took another minute or 2 off the clock, they were almost over the line. But we got 7 minutes to go and 6 points, plenty of time.
Briggs could just smash this forward. He's dominating in the air. He could just gain territory.
Tries to, but Hickey is wise to it. They both collide. Comes to Hickey. Ball comes to Papley on his left. Goes inside 50, hoping for a mark. Ball hits the deck. Comes to Wicks, has a shot on goal, 1 bounce, 2 bounce.
Oh.
Has that gone through from 45 metres? How did it bounce 3 times? Sam Wicks has 2. And the Swans restore that 2-goal lead. It's 15-5 to 12-11, 23 minutes gone. A fortuitous goal. The Papley clearance, the Wicks goal. He's doing well, Wicks.
They're calling for a replay here. I think Sam Taylor thinks he might have touched this, so... We'll see if that's right.
Touch it or hit the post, because Sam's nowhere in the play right now.
Sam touched there off the boot.
Yeah, right. Okay, sorry. Yep.
Well, if it is a goal, it is a critical instant reply from the Swans. If touched, there is plenty of time left for GWS. The umpire has the ball in the middle of the ground. But there looks like there just might be something in this. The fingers are moving.
It looks after it.
You reckon he's flicked it as it's gone past?
And it will be called touch.
That's massive.
And the umpire will take the ball from the middle of the ground back to the Giants' defensive goal square. Sam Taylor with the game-saving smother off the boot of Sam Wicks.
You're not happy about that one?
No. It just highlights how Sam Taylor just stays in the game.
2 goals this quarter that he saved with touches.
It's just sensational. It's great.
The Giants crowd are up and about, as you can hear. Swans 14-6-90, GWS 12-11-83. Dying moments of this final term. Papley smashes it to half forward. There is Wicks. Ward gets in front of him. Wicks, perhaps with a bit of frustration after being denied that goal, slings him to the ground. The ball will bounce on the wing. Hickey will tap it down, but it favours Lloyd of the Giants. Handball inboard to Daniels. He lost possession. Goulden lost his footing, and they fall on top of him. Giants fans want holding the ball on Goulden. Won't be paid. Ball up. just behind centre half forward for the Giants. Swans lead by 7 points, 24 and a half gone in the last.
And it's an open forward line if the Giants can get it in quickly. Ward has stood up this quarter with 9 touches. The veteran trying to will the Giants over the line. And Hickey and Briggs can't split each other. Ball on the deck. We'll have another ball up. Edge of the centre square. Briggs this time gets the tap, but he's given away the free kick. So Hickey for the Swans receives the free kick in his defensive half.
Need to get numbers ahead of them. Himmelberg's sitting by himself. They now round him up.
Slows the play down. Hickey on his left, heads towards the boundary. Giants have numbers. Spoil from the back. Dylan Stevens in best position, but it's over the boundary line on that far wing, right on neutral territory. Swans lead by 7. 25 minutes gone in the final quarter here. And with Geelong winning, they go in the 8. And they're hot on the heels of the Giants if they lose tonight.
Yeah, you just got to think your way through this situation. There's still over 5 minutes left, so both teams are getting a little frantic with their ball movement here. You can still take your time, hit the right target, get it inside 50, and be a bit calculated with your ball movement.
Hickey keeps getting led to the ball on these boundary throws. It's falling short. He's got to start in front. He's chasing Briggs in and letting him get front position. Therefore, he taps it.
Down to the boundary, Poppy Penny.
Short again.
Lloyd's just come up from the bench. He's given his teammates a thumbs up, so it looks like he's past that HIA.
Not too much time to play, though, in this one. Hapley smashes it to half forward off the boot. 7 points the margin in favour of Sydney. Socket off the ground by Mills. High tackle, though, on a Swan in Warner by his opponent, Callan Ward. He's done a good job in keeping Warner relatively quiet. That's a free kick, though, that goes the way of the Swans, and Warner finds Mills. Tom Green thinks he's spoiled it away from Callum Mills at half forward.
Got to find another short.
The umpire's paid the mark. The Swans won 50. The ball was thrown back by Kelly. Perhaps he got some respite from the umpire because the ball's a bit slippery at the moment. A stunning night at Giant Stadium. A thriller, as we expected. Deep into attack for the Swans. One more goal might just about do it for them. Himmelberg tries to clear defensive 50. Mills with a diving effort. Can the Giants go now? Daniels gathered it, but they lost the handle at half back, the Giants. Warner with the handball to Goulden. Snaps it just inside 50. Underneath it is Himmelberg. Punches it away from the pack. Buckley can't get hands on it. The players are tired. Bodies fall on the football. Tom Green squeezes a kick away. Stevens' handball is picked off by Whitfield.
Whitfield goes outside 50, hopes to find a teammate. Toby Green slammed the footy forward, but it went straight into Fox. It's then gone out, and Fox is down.
That's
purely accidental.
Yeah,
and they've paid the free kick
for a high.
I wonder if
I think
Green
he hit him on the way through.
I wonder if Green not only got him with the ball with his fist.
I think
he's punching
still
the ball.
Accidental, isn't it?
Only Toby could do it.
So Robbie Fox on the logo unloads. Can they find a mark? Hickey in between 3, can't grab it. Front spot is Warner. Hayward's there. McLean, short kick, back to Warner on his right. He loves it, and the Swans fans here at Giant Stadium do as well. 13 points is the lead. The Swans have kicked 15 goals. They lead 15-6-96 to 12-11-83. 28 minutes gone, and Warner with a finish from 45 was amazing.
Well, it was Papley's ability to hit that at speed with the ball. He probably could have caught holding the ball. If you see, he charges through, makes a contest, gets it out. Great decision by McLean there, just to toe tap that out, and a beautiful finish.
Well, Hayden McLean's kicked 4 goals tonight, so you set things up early, and the presence of mind from a big man there, not to blaze away in wet conditions, but to just poke it to Chad Warner, who might just have sealed the game for the Swans, underlines how important McLean has been tonight.
Swans going to defensive mode, dropping their wingers.
Sydney are 15-6-96, GWS 12-11-83.
They had a warning.
We've gone 29 minutes in the last quarter, and if GWS are going to pull another one out of the fire, they need a goal quickly. But Hickey will clear it from the middle of the ground for the Swans. Gathered by Lockie Ash, though, at centre half back. Short to Perryman. Guides it out to the wing. Whitfield watches it and marks on the wing. Plays on to Haynes. He was in front of the mark, though. You can't do that, Lockie.
Errol Goulden knew it.
Errol knew it. He's the smartest man on the ground. Whitfield was in front of the mark. Desperate to play on, though, with the Giants trailing by 13 points. Kicks into the pocket. Briggs makes a contest, but he's too forceful on Jake Lloyd. And it's a free kick to Lloyd. And that might just extinguish any hope the Giants had of winning an 8th game in a row. They need a quick turnover here.
So it's hit 30 minutes in this fourth quarter, and the Giants need 3 goals. They're down by 13. It would be unlikely, but we're not ruling it out. Lloyd up the line. Hayward spills a mark, but follows up well and kicks it forward to no one in particular. In fact, it's hit the turf. Ash will be first there, but it's bouncing left and right. Wicks puts pressure on him. Ash tries to kick it off the deck inexplicably. Wicks smothers that one. Goes forward another 20 metres and trickles out over the boundary line in the right forward pocket for the Swans. They gained 100 metres there.
That's a brilliant bit of play. Wicks.
Ash didn't want to pick it up. It was that bouncing ball which you just dread with the Sharon when it's bouncing left and right instead of end over end. So camped in the Swans attacking 50. This would be the sealer if they can get a goal here. 31 minutes gone in the fourth. Ball thrown in. McLean the tap down. Rowbottom off the ground. Doesn't get good purchase on it. Giants off the ground as well, and Daniels out of midair goes out to the wing, and the Giants clear.
Lockie Keefe taps it to Brent Daniels. They need a quick one, GWS. Callum Brown gathers it. Handball inboard to Whitfield. Have they got one in them here? Has Kelly supporting him from centre half forward. Long ball, leaping his Bedford over the pack. Did anyone touch it? Bounces through for a behind anyway. The margin is a clean 2 goals. The time is against the Giants.
They just haven't been able to find a way through that spare, have they? They had the spare deep again, 2-on-1 deep inside 50, and they haven't
to find a short here, Jolie. Just need to find a short.
No short on for him. So Lloyd runs out of the goal square and will go long. Hickey and Briggs down there. Himmelberg as well spills the mark. First to react is Perryman, but Hickey tackles him. Ball comes to Goulden. Another kick forward to a patch of grass with no one in it. Can it sit up before the boundary line? It doesn't, so it'll almost definitely be deliberate. It is.
I don't know why Lockie Ash is chasing that so hard. It's going to go out.
Lockie Ash with the free kick. Runs inside 50. They're going to go the long switch. Kicks it to Buckley, who marks 40 metres out from his own line. And kicks it to Perryman in the centre square. The Giants have possession. Time is against them. Through the middle of the ground to Green, who tries to get around Warner. Slips off the tackle, so Tom Green in possession. Had an age to get rid of it. Screws one inside 50. Toby Green at the front. Can't take possession. Footy comes to Ward. He wraps up a Swan. 45 metres out from the Giants' goal. Swans lead by 2 straight. 33 minutes into this last stanza.
Callum Brown's out the back by himself.
Well, the Giants need one now if they are any chance of gaining a result in this game. Florent tackled by Toby Green. Gets the kick clear to centre half forward. Giants win it again. Himmelberg gets rid of Goulden's tackle. Handballs it to Lockie Ash. He'll have a shot on goal from outside 50. Long ball deep to the square off hands. Out for a boundary throw in. Sydney withstanding the pressure and looking very likely to hang on now for what would be arguably their best victory of season 2023. They lead by 12 points. A minute to go.
Toby Green's the man here.
Fox on him. He's done an excellent job all night. Toby still has 3 goals. Free kick on the play.
I reckon it's a
Sydney free kick
against Toby Green for a block. Definitely was. Block off the ball.
And so Florent will take it, and that will do it. Swans just need to run down the clock now.
Florent up the line. No mark. Falls to the back to Ash. Knows time is of the essence. Kicks quickly inside 50. Great spoil from Francis. Still comes to the Giants. It's with Tom Green. Edge of the 50. Kicks it long to the pocket. 2-on-1 in the Swans' favour. Cunningham comes across. Makes sure the ball goes out. And with a 2-goal lead, 34 minutes into this final term, with the ball going out in the right forward pocket for the Giants, the Swans are looking good. Big brother has come to little brother's patch of turf and might get the win.
Well, the Swans are back. That is for sure. Ball in dispute inside attacking 50 for the Giants. But they are going to win their 4th game in a row. And they are just 2 points behind the Giants on the ladder, knocking on the door of that top 8. Last year's grand finalists who won 9 in a row, en route to the last Saturday in September last season, might just have a miraculous run in them again. The ball has gone off hands, through for a behind, but it's too late for the Giants. Swans 15-6-96, GWS 12-13-85. Errol Goulden has been spectacular yet again. Hayden McLean has kicked 4 goals. Jake Lloyd sends it away from his own defensive 50, off the hands of Hickey. Boundary throw in, seconds ticking down. They've been treated here at Giants Stadium to a wonderful run, but it is coming to an end at the hands of their rivals. It is the Swans who win Battle of the Bridge 26 by 11 points for a 4th victory in a row. The Giants' club record winning streak is over. They led by 6 points at quarter time. The margin was 18 at half time. The Giants pegged it back to 11 points at 3/4 time, and that is the way it finished. Despite the Giants throwing everything at the Swans, they prevailed for a 4th win in a row. It was a contrasting game of football, Mark McVeigh and Joel Patfull. It was a shootout for the first half. The rain came down in the second and it became a slog. I'm not sure the Giants lose too much from tonight, but I tell you what, the microscope is going to go in a very positive way on the Sydney Swans after that.
Yeah, well, they played an exceptional game. They obviously did their homework. They knew what they wanted to do and they executed well. For me, it was the Swans' defence all over the ground, but more so inside 50. They got numbers back. They knew that the Giants didn't have an answer. Early on, it was obvious that they weren't going to take a mark inside 50, and they continued to do that. Work the ball down the way forward, and were able to kick goals, get those one-on-one contests. Their tools up forward and their tools down back really stood up from those key positions, dominated the game, and it went from there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think that's a big win. That's a big win for the Sydney Swans, considering where they were at with their injuries last week. They lose Buddy Franklin to retirement. They lose Rampy and McInerney to calves, long-term calves. 3 hard players, obviously, to replace. They come in and they do the job really well. I thought the key forwards did a great job on their key backs in terms of Taylor and Himmelberg and these type of players. You know, Amadi had an impact early in the game when we needed to. Garby alluded to that. Obviously, McLean kicked 4 goals and looked damaging at times and was pivotal in that last 2 or 3 goals for the Sydney Swans. So they got a lot right. I think it was a blueprint, for how you can combat the GWS Giants and what they're trying to do. I mean, other teams now, and you do that. Every week you go, okay, what did the Swans do really well? Okay, they frustrated Sam Taylor. They frustrated Harry Himmelberg. They were able to get their matchups right, and they did a really good job with their key forwards.
So the post-Buddy Franklin era starts with a win for the Sydney Swans by 11 points. Let's go down to the ground for the presentations.
Tonight marked the 26th Sydney derby between the GWS Giants and the Sydney Swans. Tonight, both sides played for the Lifeline Cup, and a huge thank you to Lifeline for their support of this match. Tonight, the Swans defeated the Giants 96 points to 85. Now, before we call up the winning captain, I would like to ask AFL Commissioner Gabrielle Traynor to come forward and present the Brett Kirk Medal to tonight's best player on ground. And the winner of the Brett Kirk Medal tonight is Errol Goulden from the Sydney Swans.
No surprise there?
No.
So, fourth quarter, Errol had 12 touches and a goal. Warner was the other goal. 21 and 22-year-olds standing up for the Swans there.
32 possessions and 2 goals for Errol Goulden.
Giants, always a tough game out here. Slogging. Thanks everyone for coming out.
No, I can.
Short of speech, but the platitudes will come for Errol Goulden. Don't worry about that.
I would like to welcome Colin Seary, CEO of Lifeline, to come forward and present the cup. We'll also get him to say a few words.
Thanks very much. Congratulations to both teams. Another amazing Sydney derby. Lifeline, we're really honoured to be involved with 2 great organisations, 2 great clubs who we know put mental health at the same level of physical health. So just on behalf of our volunteers, our staff, thanks everyone here tonight for raising awareness, raising of funds so we can make sure we're there for Australians that need us. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Colin. And to accept the cup, I'd like to welcome Swans captain Luke Parker.
Another big game from the Swans co-captain, a 5-time Brett Kirk medalist. He had 26 disposals.
First off, thanks to the Giants. It's always an incredible derby. It's always so close and desperation in the end. You've always been on fire. To our boys, well done. Great desperation finish. To play for the Lifeline Cup is really special. We know how much it does to save everyday Australians' lives and how much it helps. Thanks to the Red and White for coming out and everyone who came out, so appreciate it.
Congratulations to the Sydney Swans, and also thank you to our principal partner Toyo Tyres, who have just made a $2,000 donation to Lifeline today. Thank you to everyone for coming out for the Lifeline Cup and this match between the GWS Giants and the Sydney Swans. Please travel home safely.
So the Swans move up to 10th place on the ladder. They are on 42 points. The Giants are on 44 points. It's that draw against Geelong that might just haunt the Swans. They had that game for the taking, of course, and that's holding them out of the 8 at the moment. But they are coming home with a very wet sail. Errol Goulden wins his first Brett Kirk medal, Joel Batfull, and I dare say it might be the first of many if he stays at the Swans long term, which he's likely to do as a New South Wales boy.
Well, I would have thought so. He really stood out, didn't he? The way he navigated his way through that game. Like he said, he was tough in the contest when he had to be, but then on the outside, he's just so confident with the ball in his hands at the moment. He's one of those players that you know he's going to use it well and it's going to be effective, and he's going to put his teammate in a better position to finish with 2 goals. And when the game was on the line in the last quarter, he was one that stood up as well and got the team over the line. And that's what you want from your young players and from a young leader coming through. So it's great to see.
Right now on the ladder, 5th to 12th is 1 game. And we could see how dirty the Giants were at the end of the game. Even the post-match presentation, they were standing there stone-faced. Himmelberg kicked the ball away as the final siren went. They know that win would have been, well, sealing finals for them, and now they're in that congestion.
Swans players dispersed to all parts of Giant Stadium to thank their fans. Errol Goulden will be a big talking point out of this, Mark McVeigh. I mean, for a third-year player to be a match winner to the level that he is right now, it's really exciting when you think about what he might become in another 2 to 3 seasons.
Well, if you talk to people in-house about Errol, he is a kid that was obsessed with football, even being from New South Wales, and I think that's where New South Wales footy, ACT footy is going. These kids are starting to really embrace what it is. There is a clear pathway. They're starting to get like Victorians, South Australians. He's obsessed with the game. He's a smart footballer, and his skill really stands out. And as I said in the call, work rate to get to contest, work rate to defend, and then also to get up off the ground and then be involved in attack is elite. And that's why he's one of the best players right now in the competition.
There were 13 players on the ground tonight who are New South Wales players, a couple extra from Canberra as well. Yep. So that shows that they're not only getting local players, but they're getting good quality local players. You know, with the Swans, you think of Mills. Campbell's played every game this season after last year falling in and out. He was the grand final sub. He's played every game. And the spike on Goulden, Heaney from Newcastle.
Mark McVeigh, I'll get you to do the ABC Footballer of the Year votes.
Yep.
Pretty good idea of who might be awarded the 3. Joel, I want to ask you about the job of Robbie Fox tonight. So Toby Green kicks 3 goals. He has an impact. But Robbie Fox was able to keep him relatively quiet in large parts. It felt like Toby Green had to work so hard to get his goals. From a defensive point of view, why was he so effective?
I think that's always the hard thing about being a defender. So Toby Green only needs a few touches to have an impact on the game, but it's limiting what the influence is and how much he does with it. Because he kicked 3 goals, he still had an impact on the game, but he wasn't as influential as he has been over the last 7 weeks. So it's pushing him to positions of the ground that he's not comfortable in, getting him up the ground a little bit and making sure he's not as effective as he has been, being physical. And you could see that he was being physical with Toby even when the ball wasn't in play. So Toby got frustrated. He gave away a few free kicks in the end as well, which goes the other way. So he did a great job at not letting Toby get settled and be a part of the game.
Swans are making their way down into the rooms now. We're not too far away from the song. Poppy Penny is down there, so we'll wait for them to gather. How far can they go, Mark McVeigh, before they sing Cheer Cheer the Red and the White?
Well, I think the sky's the limit, really. I mean, they've gone through that hard part of injuries right in the middle of it. Sort of at the start of the year, they got through some big ones. They got their players back, and they lost a couple on the weekend. Obviously, Buddy retires. What does that do for them as they make their way in to sing the song? But I just think with the Swans, they're always going to be in it. They very rarely get blown away. If they can get those 2 players back who I think are really important in Rampy, and obviously a couple of their key wingers, I think they can really be dangerous come September.
It's loud down there in the rooms.
Rooms, guys, it's very loud. They're all filing in now. We've got the Lifeline Cup here as well. They're all coming in. Lots of celebrations. Dane Rampy, unsurprisingly, in the middle of all of those celebrations. Lots of big hugs. Here comes the song.
A win over their rivals, the Giants. It's the Suns next, then Adelaide away, and then Melbourne at home for Sydney. So not the easiest run home, but they did it last year, and they surged all the way to the grand final. I mean, the team is pretty similar, bar Lance Franklin now, of course, but I think they've got their head around life without Lance for a little while now, with McDonald, Damati, and Hayden McLeany was superb tonight coming through. The benefit of last season, how important might that be for Sydney?
I think it's crucial. Like you said, a lot of these players had good finals experience last year, and they made that run as they did. I think they've had a bit of practice without Lance in the team as well, so I don't think that's going to be too much of a contributing factor moving forward. Like you saw tonight, that forward line, when it was dry, was really functioning well. They have players there that can impact the footy and kick a winning score. So, I mean, they've given themselves a chance, and a few weeks ago you probably wouldn't have thought they'd be there. So the way they've turned that around has been great.
I'll get your votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year in a moment, Mark McVeigh. How big of a setback for the Giants? Will this trouble them, do you think, the halt to their momentum?
I don't think it does. I think they just know that. I think they're just going to have to look at the vision and say, okay, when a team does this to us, what do we need to do? And they'll have the answers. It's just they've just got to execute it probably better. I think they go to Port Adelaide next week. Is that right?
Yep.
So it's a very tough game over there. A winnable one for them, I think.
They like playing at the Adelaide Oval for some reason.
Yeah, they do. Always won over there really well. But I just think it's just one of those, you win 7 in a row, you go back, you get a bit of a clip from another team, and that makes you go, righto, boys, we're not invincible. We can't just turn up and win. When something comes at us, we've got to change, and they'll do that.
There's still a lot of positives for the Giants.
Yeah,
they had
absolutely.
Disposals they won, contested possessions they won, inside 50s they won, but they just couldn't kick a winning score. So they'll get a lot out of that. It's just how they execute.
Geelong beat Port Adelaide at Cardinia Park tonight. They were challenged but prevailed. Your 3-2-1, Mark McVeigh.
Oh, I'm going to go Errol. Obviously 3 votes. Definitely I'm going to go 2 votes to the player that kicked 4 goals, Hayden McLean. And I'm going to give 1 vote to Jake Lloyd. 27 possessions, went at 70% and 6 score involvements.
It was a memorable Battle of the Bridge, as we expected. It's the Sydney Swans, though, who have prevailed 15-6-96 to GWS 12-13-85. Thanks to Mark McVeigh, thanks to Joel Patfull, Declan Byrne on the call with me, Daniel Garb, and Poppy Penny on the boundary, and Tegan Nichols, our tech. It's been great to have your company wherever you've been listening.